Oh, man, what's up? All right, demonetised in the first minute.
My God.
Out of all people.
Did you purposely do that?
Hey, that's a straight red. That's a straight red.
Are we leaving that in?
Well, no.
Sorry,
So we're restarting.
No.
Sorry,
We
you
can
can
just
clap
bleep it.
again. You can clap again.
Holy moly.
Lord. Comes back with a bang.
Apparently there's a rule that you can't swear in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Bro,
And he just said...
that was 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Not even. You said that's my C.
Yeah.
Well done. What movie's that
Maybe
from?
she's not in heaven, Jackie.
Oh, here we fucking All these guys do is quote semi-pro.
Bro, you're our age, bro.
Do you know it? Do you know the... Oh, you don't know the quote.
Wow. When Jackie Moon's he's having a go at the umpire and he kicks the ball out of the stadium and the ref sends him off and then he goes, S my C, I'll murder your family. And then he's like, I'll call your mum in heaven. Oh, he's like, you have to call my mum in heaven. He's like, maybe your mum didn't go to heaven, Jackie. And he takes everyone off the court.
Nor watch it.
The best part about it is when he says, S my C, I'll murder your family.
Yeah, strength and conditioning coach.
The ref goes, that's it, Jackie, you're off. He goes, what? I barely even raised my voice.
Churches League.
Are we starting?
Yeah, I guess.
Sorry.
Guys, welcome back to Suited and Booted. We were sort of meant to have a guest, but not really. But who cares? They'll come on at a later stage.
Next week.
We are working on some guests for you guys. So, I mean, because you guys love Ian Greener so much, we are working on some mad guests for you. So,
oh yeah, I got intel. Do you remember the guy? Shout out the guy. I forgot his name. The one we juggled around Allianz Stadium with.
oh yeah, the photographer.
I saw him Friday. No, was he a photographer?
Yeah, I
the
think
guy
so.
from Brisbane.
Oh no, different guy. This
Yeah,
guy's from Jets.
so he was at the Brisbane game Friday, and he goes, "I've watched the Ian Greener episode like 20 times."
Wow.
See, people are just interested in.
And I was like,
different
"Man,
things.
we've been told that's our worst app." And he goes,
Yeah.
"Bro, I could watch that all day."
People are being
Isn't that interesting?
I wonder how many people turned it off. Because,
a lot, probably.
yeah, it's
Oh, you
weird,
can see
isn't
the
it?
analytics when the drop off happened, minutes wise.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, at which minute do most people cut out?
I'd love to know.
3 minutes.
99%.
That message we got last time.
Yeah,
Guys
that
saying, what did he say? That Malak almost made me crash my car or something.
Then I don't know who was here last week, but someone sent a meme of like the last song you hear before you die, and it's an audio recording. of Ian Greener.
That's the wildest one, bro.
Oh, man.
Shout out the Booters, you're all a bit.
You're all Jerome's.
You've all headed the ball too many times.
Yeah, you're all got a bit of ball. You know what, man? I was thinking just quickly before we start, and I said I was going to keep it under 2 hours, so I'm going to try my best. But
3-hour pod.
you know, we speak about ballitis. Now, for those who don't know, ballitis is a incurable disease that one can obtain at any stage in their life.
Yeah.
And we know a few people that have it.
Yeah.
I've had glimpses, but I don't think I have a severe case.
You've lost it.
Yeah.
You're like one of the few cures.
Yeah, like magical type. Oh, he could walk again.
Like you're taking
Magic
meds and
Johnson.
you're
Yeah.
taking meds and it's coming back down and then it heats up. And
Yeah,
You're
I have
still on the
flare-ups.
meds, though, aren't you?
I have flare-ups.
You're still on the meds.
I am
every
on the
now and
meds
then.
for it, but it's
Yeah.
not fully curable.
What are the meds called again for ballitis?
Lexapro.
I don't know what that is. But
They're antidepressants. Anyway,
for fuck's sake.
listen, Zoloft, Xanax. Right. So, ballitis is probably the best disease you could ask for. Now, ballitis is when you're so addicted to football and anything football that it basically just runs your life in every single aspect. Like mad girl on your bed? Nah.
The game's on.
Yeah. Newcastle are playing away at Wellington. Have to watch this one.
Yeah.
So
travel to watch your team play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And every A-League fan has it.
there are certain clubs.
No, that's true. Probably not every A-League fan.
There are
That's true.
certain clubs that have a larger
Pandemic.
proportion.
Pandemic.
There are certain clubs where it's spread a bit more.
Yeah. That's true, yeah.
Yeah. So,
But you don't necessarily not want to have it. That's the only
well,
thing.
I was just going to say, man, you know, I won't say who it is, but I was speaking to someone on the phone the other day, and they're like, they're having a bit of a tough time, right?
With ballitis.
No, not with ballitis, with life. Like serious. and they're just like, I'm just a bit stuck, and you know, I just don't know what to do sometimes with my day. They work and everything, like, you know, but sometimes they just get in a rut and they don't. And I started to think, like, people who don't have hobbies are fucked.
Oh, I thought they were going to give you like a football analogy. That's
No.
I thought they were going to be like, I feel like Raheem Sterling in 2023.
No, but a girl I've been speaking to has been, there's this new, have you guys seen this new thing on TikTok where girls are explaining to girls football terms so they can speak to guys?
No, but
I haven't seen
that's
that.
hilarious.
So like,
I'd love to see
one
it.
I've got is like, take a touch. Like when you're like maybe rambling or just, you know, you're.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, and then
Wow,
another
yeah.
one was
Now, there's some
You're-
specific ones where it's like players being mentioned.
well, yeah, it says like you're like 04, 05 Chelsea at the moment.
oh, right.
That's bands,
Like-
high level
Okay.
bands,
Yeah,
bro.
okay.
That's marriage
So
material.
that's like a trending thing at the moment.
It's like a trending thing. Like girls on TikTok will be like, "Hey, girls, if you don't know what your guys are speaking about, use some of these terms to try to impress them or to understand what they're
right,
speaking
yeah.
about."
That would get me.
You know, one of my favorite memes that kind of circulates every now and then is the guy standing on the bar, like screaming in the girl's ear at a bar.
You love this guy.
And it's like like in quotations, like if the six just dropped in between the centre
Yeah.
backs. It's like,
I want to do a skit on that. That's the club skit I want to do. Where I'm like screaming at a girl, telling her like all the State One news, and she's like, "What? I want MDMA. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit." There was one like
if the six would just drop,
yeah. I'm trying to drop
only-
something else.
that's where it all went wrong.
I think she said some other one like,
oh my god!
I'm Jurgen pressing you. I think she meant Gegenpress. And I was like, what the hell? What is
You know what? Like back in the day when I was going out, I genuinely had, and I wasn't talking about football, but probably talking about ChatGPT or something like that.
Yep.
Or wasn't that at that time. I was obsessed with some other tech
Guitars.
thing at the time, maybe
Yeah.
guitars. And I've had girls say to me while I'm out, like, "Hey, I'm just trying to enjoy my night. Like, I'm just trying to have a casual conversation here."
Hold on, but what were you
Like-
talking about?
Like something too, you know, like technical or deep.
Was this in your like hipster phase?
Yeah, probably.
Are you having conversations with ChatGPT? Like,
I would, yeah, 100%.
but like, are you?
You mean in general right now?
Yeah, like,
am I?
hey, how are you?
bro? People, it's
Yeah, I've got an
it's like
addiction.
kids,
I don't
kids
know-
growing up's best friend.
Yeah, I don't know if this is in the what's the psychology book with all the mental illnesses.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Bruh, I'm telling you, ChatGPT addiction is a new thing.
Oh,
it's
bro,
gonna be
I
it's
saw
gonna
a
be
stat.
big.
I saw a stat, and it was like top 10 reasons people use AI in 2024.
Loneliness.
And I think the first one was gathering information or like, you know, finding out
The
information.
actual purpose, yeah.
Yeah. But then this year it's flipped, and number one is
Company.
yeah, something like that, companionship or something. Let me actually get it up so I don't fuck this up.
Scary, man.
Yeah. Top
Scary
10
time.
uses of AI.
Oh, yeah, I just realised Nor Botic is showing levels of pod fitness as well here.
Oh, yeah.
straight into
Oh,
it.
You've literally just done a pod.
Yeah,
Now you're back on the mic.
just finished recording ours. I've also, yeah, I barely slept the last few days. So.
Hey, can you
Why?
plug yours, man?
Great
What's your
question.
pod? What's your pod called?
The Disruption. Yeah, if you guys
Yeah.
want to enjoy more general
Check out
content,
Disruption.
If you want to see
whatever.
Nor Botic's face,
Oh, true.
Yeah.
I mean,
Check
go
it out,
watch the
lads.
disruption, bro.
Yeah, if you want.
What did you talk about today?
What do we do? We did obviously Trump and the whole tariffs and all that kind of stuff, and it's messing up the world.
The hell's a tariff?
Well, there you go, Jerome.
It's a right winger.
Tariff?
Yeah, he's a right winger. for
Go,
sure.
go. Give us your best guess.
Georgian left winger? Tariff?
Georgian.
Oh, he's that Azerbaijani. Tariff.
Tariq.
Yeah,
He's
that's
there.
it.
A tariff is just a extremely high tax on something, isn't it?
Yeah, so
In a form.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I don't
Good.
give a fuck, but I found the top 10 Gen AI use cases.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Go check out Disruption Podcast, by
Wait,
the
did
way.
you ask AI for this?
No.
list, or-
It's on Twitter. So, I'll do the top 3 in 2024. Number 1, generating ideas. See, I got it wrong. So, number 1 is generating ideas. Number 2 is therapy companionship. Number 3 is specific search. 2025, number 1, therapy and companionship. Number 2, organising my life. And number 3, finding purpose.
Do you know what? Do you know why?
That's crazy.
My mate went through a breakup and he was going off the rails, and he reckons he found closure in his problems with a 4-hour conversation with Chat GPT on it. He reckons it summarised characters and reasons, and he got closure out of it. I'm like,
so he sat there telling it.
he
Like,
was like,
she did this, and after this happened,
and this is her character traits, which is why this happened, and
She
that's
was a
why
lone
it made you
six.
feel, like he goes, it was so deeply intellectual that like that's why people are doing it, because it's half right.
Imagine
Wow.
ChatGPT turned to him like the girl turned to Rash in the class. I'm just trying to have a good time.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is like
I'm just
it's
trying to answer Jerome's question about the top 10 OnlyFans users. Anyway, keep going.
Top 10 cheapest ratio to quality.
It's because it's the most compassionate and patient thing I know.
What?
Have you ever
Patience-
said something?
patience
That is
have you ever
it
said
can't- Helen.
It can't say, hey man, I've got to go eat some dinner.
I know.
Like I'll be back in an hour. It
so
doesn't
that's
do that.
why people go to it.
Wait, would you date a robot?
It's like a
Fuck no, bro. Come on, man.
Well,
what the hell,
Rash,
bro?
What do you think I am? After you just said it's the most compassionate
Jerome?
thing.
No. Don't ask if I will. What I'm saying is, in 5 years, I could definitely see him saying, think about it. No arguments. Logical answers.
Perfect stir fry.
And a perfect stir fry.
Nah, man, no way. But I tell you what, it is pretty amazing. But I wonder, is it like what is making that change happen from last year to this year?
I think what I think is when it came out, everyone sort of had a similar use for it, whereas like finding ideas but I think as it's evolved and as people have realised that it can just be used for anything, I think people are just like, hold on, no one's going to actually know what I'm telling it. Let me just like, hey, instead of asking my mates this awkward question, why don't I just ask ChatGPT? Is it normal, to have a 9-inch dick? Like,
Is that what you asked?
no,
Yeah.
I don't.
Hey,
You know what? I could post my ChatGPT history. All it is just
Chelsea
shortcuts.
data.
It's no weird. Yeah, there's no.
Like, help me do this faster.
Yeah, there's no like. My Google searches are way worse.
What's on your Google search?
Oh, well, I can't say. Can I?
okay.
Oh, do you reckon there's gaffers out there, state leagues and beyond,
Probably,
that are
man.
like, don't know what to do this Saturday in the game and go to Chat GPT and say, should I set up a 4-5-1? This is what they do. And then Chat GPT comes back with a comprehensive game plan.
That is brilliant.
Probably.
You-
Do you reckon that's starting to come in?
I reckon what is probably being used for is scouts overseas going, give me a list of top 10 kids in every country in the world. or
See,
something like
that's
that.
where I
true,
got to
yeah.
interject because the one pitfall of ChatGPT that I've found so far, don't come for me, don't hack me, ChatGPT, is they get shit wrong.
Yeah.
And when I asked for simple stuff the other week, like where has Garang Qual played, they left out a club. And I'm just like, what do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
have that info. You know, you can save someone's fucking marriage, but you can't tell me how many goals he scored. Like,
When you
Yeah.
really look into it, which one's more important?
it's not about what's more important.
Do you know how many goals Greg's had?
He's not married. He's not fit because of a missing club.
This is a fucking pathetic
saved-
software.
It saved someone's life.
It is.
Where the fuck did Garang Cole play?
They fucking didn't have, what's the Scottish club team?
Drink some water, have a Lexapro, and fucking go get Maccas. That is not medical advice.
Oh my god.
That is not
Oh
medical
my
advice.
God.
No one do that.
That is not medical advice. That's what I do.
Get the Maccas
Yeah.
and then have Lexa,
Yeah.
bro.
Oh my
What
god.
the meds would tell you is you do it in the opposite order. No, but like genuinely, Jake, you bring up a great little topic here.
Did you guys want to introduce yourselves? Or
Yeah, we will at some stage.
Oh shit.
Thanks. You bring up a great topic here of I genuinely think that maybe not the top level managers, but I think that some lower level managers, semi-pro, amateur football, whatever, or maybe even like, your League 2 or whatever, I reckon they're using it somehow, some way.
Bro, like
I don't know
set
if-
pieces. How do I stop Arsenal set pieces?
I don't know if it's exactly like, what should I do this weekend? Because then you really shouldn't have the job. But it could be little tweaks of like, man, managers probably use it. If they want to look up facts or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if you can rely on that. things that are relevant to time and it needing to be up to date by today as opposed to yesterday, I don't think you can.
Or like, how do I speak to this player that I've dropped for the last 2 weeks who's in form?
Yeah.
Bro, they might just like give a whole spiel, and it's like the player's like, man, he's a great coach. Yeah. He's just a great manager.
Great coach. He's a fucking
He's
android.
fucking got Chat GPT freaking starred in his window.
Yeah. Did you know what I used yesterday, by the way? The Meta Ray-Bans. You used those before?
Yeah. That's cool.
Bro.
Where the hell did you get those?
We've lost Rashid, bro.
And he says he doesn't want to fucking
We've lost him, bro. What the fuck is he talking about?
Do you know what that is? You don't even know what it is.
I know what they are, bro.
Sorry.
I'm staying far away from AI.
They're the smart sunglasses.
Yeah, smart sunglasses, bro. You can walk around live stream and it's just recording everything you're doing from your eyes, bro.
Yeah, and
he's at dinner and his
I
girl's
genuinely,
like,
bro, I worked in
take them off. And he's like, babe, no, I'm filming.
I worked in tech for like 6 years, bro. AI is horrifying.
I think it's this, right?
It's going to be horrifying, bro.
What I was going to say about the coaches, the only coaches I don't think that would be using it is like old school ones who don't want to move with the times. There would be current coaches, I reckon, English Premier League level, that are forward thinking that would be using it. I would honestly say that if you're not using minimum like 3 hours a day, 3 hours a day,
What?
plus
Maybe don't.
social media 3 hours a day, and if you're in business, football, anything high level competitive, you're going to struggle to move with the times.
Can I ask you a question?
And you're going to get left behind.
Let me ask you a question.
I think you need to know it.
Let me ask you a question. You know when you ask for advice, it's everything's subjective. But the problem is, people are going to get to the point where they take everything ChatGPT says as the correct thing to do.
I'm not talking about advice about your own life. I just mean understanding how to utilize the software. That's what I mean.
This is where it's really important. I think it's like with the whole, people think, I'm going to lose my job. It's like, it's not about making it do your job. It's about helping it, like making it help you do the best job you can. And it's like, you're right. I think in terms of career and all that kind of stuff and content and even, again, probably managers and things like that, it's like, you could figure out a lot that makes things flow much quicker, much more efficiently, which is the ultimate goal.
Well, let's take this example, right? We saw did you guys see the show Adolescence the other day?
Yeah. I refuse to watch it.
I've watched.
But you know the concept, right?
Yeah, Andrew Tate as a kid.
Yeah. So I think, for example, as a manager, in the next what?
Why did you say yes to that?
What did you say? So
Tate as a kid.
But he gets brought up in the movie.
Yeah. Oh, does he?
He does get, yeah.
Oh.
It's relevant.
I was
it's relevant
to say
to
shout
the
out
movie.
Tate, but nah.
No, it's relevant to the movie. But it's like, for example, right? If you're a manager and you're going to be a top-level manager in 10 years, if you don't understand deeply how TikTok works, you can't relate to the kids that you're going to be coaching.
You're actually useless.
You actually don't understand what they're going through as people and what's in their lives in a day-to-day sense.
Let me give you an example.
So then you can't manage that player if you don't understand what they're going through. You know what I mean?
A couple years ago, I went into an A-League club. Won't say who. Did some content. And
people know who this A-League is.
Yeah, they will, but,
Rhymes with.
You've literally said...
Who cares?
It rhymes with Melbourne City.
Nah, I wasn't at Melbourne Pity FC. I was at Melbourne City.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I think a few of the old coaches were just like, what the fuck's this guy doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, respectfully, if you want...
Yeah.
Oh, you've spoken about this.
Yeah, if you want people like
People to
fans,
care.
if you want fans, then you sort of got to move with the times.
Yeah.
Not saying I'm
Exactly right.
I'm going to be the key reason why people want to go watch Melbourne City, because that's not the case, obviously.
But
it's
like
more...
Jerome.
Well, not even that. It's just anyone. It could have been someone else. It could have just been a content creator in. Like, I was there the day that they brought Chunks and Sharky to Casey Fields, and the players, I've never seen grown football players act like
Kids.
like starstruck.
Yeah,
And
right. Wow.
I was like, this is the power of social media. Again, some people think everyone should die.
Oh, I was going to mention this guy, so I won't use his name now.
don't
But
use his
someone's
guy. I mean, don't mention him. Yeah.
Someone said to us yesterday that social media has ruined the world, which, by the way, and
Sorta
technology,
true.
which I don't necessarily disagree with. I think probably like mental health was a bit better before it came around.
100%.
But so it's not like I'm saying, even though I do want to be a cyborg, it's not like I'm saying this is the right way or it's good. But I do think it's true that if you're a manager or if you're in any career and you don't know how to use these things and don't know what's happening on them, you're actually behind so severely.
Yeah, or
behind.
at least hire someone that knows. Like, you got to be somewhat in touch with what's going on. Even the other day, my dad's trying to sort out his 60th birthday, and the place that he's doing it at, everything is still done by paper. Like, what food you want, like tick.
You just
box.
become hard to work with.
How much money would you be willing to spend on a bet saying that David Drillich, Carl Viet, Arthur Dillers, Aurelio Vidmar, Velupillay, Steve Corica don't use ChatGPT?
I don't know if they're...
And would never.
I don't know if they're actually doing it, but I can almost guarantee you people in their staff are.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe like analysts or...
Analysts would be like...
Yeah. Or
practically
like,
AI robots themselves.
Yeah. You sort of... Well, you don't look like Will Smith, but...
You get Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. Michael R. Jordan, but
And
you could be iRobot too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't never...
I can't remember what happened in that movie.
But be the robot.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't remember what happened in that movie.
I don't know either.
Bro, it is almost going to be a real story. It's like a bunch of robots that like a guy creates and that are all working happy and friendly, and then the eyes turn.
Well, I did see a groundbreaking moment. I heard it on the radio. They were talking about this new trend. I am not across it. I didn't catch this trend, but apparently you're sending in a photo of yourself and then asking ChatGPT and then telling ChatGPT you're the 3 things that are most important to you or something.
Starter pack type thing.
Your starter pack.
Yeah. People, you know what I don't like? I'm going to just say this as a grumpy old man. Every time there's a trend, people feel absolutely fucking obliged to do. You don't have to do it.
No, you don't. But I did want to ask you, what are your 3 things?
Yeah, they can, but it's just like, why do you have to do, like, even, you know what else pisses me off? When everyone uses the same song on Instagram for their story. Like, fucking be original.
Hey, can I ask you, did you get annoyed when everyone started doing that artistic photo?
Yes.
That Japanese artist.
'Cause
Jake
someone
did one.
Yeah.
I didn't do it. Did you do it?
He did it the
Gavin created it.
Yeah,
Gavin. I just
Gavin
used
created it
Gavin.
and he
Are
posted
you
it.
talking about
Yeah.
the Studio Ghibli style ones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then people are like, oh, post it. No.
Yeah. I
You know
thought
when
he
this-
was angry at that.
You know when this
I
started?
posted it.
This started. You remember Straight Outta Compton, the movie?
Yeah.
Everyone was doing Straight Outta and wherever they're
Yeah.
from.
Oh, yeah.
And that one annoyed me. That was the only time it annoyed because I was like, Straight Outta Rowville doesn't really slap.
Dude,
Well,
that
now
almost
it
changed.
does.
That almost changed the course of mine in your life.
Yeah.
We were sitting up to like 2-3 a.m., bro, and he was making beats and I was writing raps.
Well, straight out of Oakley.
And I was like leaving. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
leaving his
bro.
house. I'm like, we should go to bed, bro. He's like, yeah, man, I will. Looking at me like funny because he was like, knew he was gonna just keep
I will,
trying
man.
to make
I just
beats.
need to fix these hi-hats. Yeah. But yeah, I am a grumpy old guy in that sense of like, it's okay. Like, yeah, trends happen. It's like, but not everyone has to. I've had people say, oh, you should do the Ashton Hall one. I don't want to. Because
Yeah,
every
it's a
single
bit-
content creator does it.
It's a bit overplayed, isn't it? Yeah.
Like,
You kind of want to you want to show who you are, how you think.
yeah, man.
right?
Like,
that's the
I've
art
been doing
of
that
content.
Ashton Hall shit.
I think that's, you know what? I actually, because a lot of people hate social media, hate content. I actually really like it. And people think I'm crazy when I say I think it's an art form. I think if you're just copying trends, it's not.
That's what I'm saying.
But if you're doing it your way and you're putting your spin on things and you're making things that are
becomes a trend.
unique, it becomes, it's the new art, bro.
Bro,
It
if
is
you
the
can-
new
if you
art.
can
And
make
everyone's
a
going to say I'm
trend,
crazy,
yeah.
but I think it's the new art.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
Everyone that's popping either made some shit, did some niche shit. No one ever just got popping off just copying. Like, and I know nothing's original, but you look at every big trend right now. It's like they were probably one of the first or early on it or whatever. That's why Kanye was so successful. But let's not speak about him. But even the Ashton Hall shit, he's been doing it for ages. Like, I get sometimes you have to conform. Man, my first podcast came out. I refused to download TikTok. And my co-host is like, no, we need it. And I was like, fuck TikTok.
Crazy.
Right? And that's where we got the most views, which was funny. But sometimes I'm just like, nah. Sometimes it's okay to push against trends. Not too much. Not to be archaic. Not to be fucking, like, oh, no, I'm going to use paper and pen. No, but just a bit of originality won't kill.
But then there's another side, right? Where, you know, the Jack Harlow line when he says something like, "Oh, you don't like me. I guess you need to do something to try to stand out."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then you can go the other way, which is people say that they don't like Drake. And the only reason they say that, sorry, I'm going to come back and make my point here. The only reason they say that is because everyone likes it. So they want to show that they're different by not doing the thing that everyone's doing, which makes them more bland than anyone.
Yeah, I know. I know what you're
saying?
saying. But then it's no one can. I'm not saying you're saying.
Do you get what I'm saying?
100%.
Yeah.
No one can say that to me though, personally.
No.
Because they can't say, "Oh, Jerome hates everything that's popular." Drake's my favorite artist. The most fucking popular guy in the world. I just like things and I don't, but I just feel like a lot of people, including friends and family members, they don't have a mind of their own. Everything is just like, "Oh, I've seen someone else do it, I'll do it. Oh, everyone's doing this trend, I'll do it." Guess what? I actually don't give a fuck about your best 4 photos of September. Don't care.
Yeah.
It's fine to do it. There's nothing wrong with it. But I just know so many people that just don't have an original thought. Just have an original thought. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to fucking go get blue hair and pierce all your body. Like, no. You can be different in other ways. But anyway, don't get me rambling.
I'll tell you what, one trend we have followed, though, is we are now officially on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fuck, what a mission that
For
was.
all those out there that
Can
are
we-
on Spotify and have Apple or...
Oh, before we get going, sorry, Jakey. Follow Bootin' About
Yeah, boy.
right there.
Pick it up. It's not on anyone's.
Okay. Follow Bootin' About right there. Bootin' About. Spelt the correct way. 5 stars on Spotify. Subscribe on YouTube. Patreon coming soon. Comment on everything. Like everything. What else? I'm Jarogba to my left.
Lord Mahazi.
To my right.
Number 10.
Behind the camera.
No about it.
And that's the intro.
Yeah.
That's a piece of Patreon pod.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That whole
That's
shit
going to be
was
Patreon pod type shit.
Anyway, let's move.
Can we segment this is kind of related because I think, I know we've talked about him a lot, Ange, but very interesting thing come up the other day. He's wild on social media and in his press conferences and stuff.
Yeah.
Imagine-
and you know what's funny?
He's good, man.
Imagine
As
Ange
an
on TikTok, bro, with that press conference energy. He'd be...
Yeah.
be top followed,
imagine
bro.
Ange's
Make more than-
TikTok.
Like, yeah.
If he was a content
we've
creator.
we've got a rat in our camp, man.
He'd actually be successful.
Like walking around. Hey, Sonny, do you know who the rat is? They keep leaking shit to media. Get your phones out of your hands.
Yep.
Like
It's not
he'd
just a
be
camera
wild.
following him. Now, everyone said, "Oh, you know, there's one particular commenter we have that goes, you guys are a fucking disgrace, you know, not supporting Ange." Guess what? Just because I'm Aussie doesn't mean I need to bow down to Ange and everything he does. I like him. He's a great manager. He's very successful. I wish him the best, but I can have an opinion. Thank
Who
you
said
very
that?
much.
Who
Name
said
and
that,
shame,
bro?
bro. We literally did a
I don't even know-
podcast on how much we love Ange.
I don't even know how to pronounce the name or whatever. I'm not even going to bother giving him limelight, but it's like, brother. And he was also asking for your credentials. And I said, ask Paul Matsurianis. He played with us.
Nice.
But anyway,
What do you mean? You haven't smashed Ange, really? You just said
I didn't.
reality is he's not doing very well
I didn't.
currently right now.
And I've been proven right again this week
Yeah.
with another one. Like, if you have a rat in your camp, don't you think it's best to keep it quiet?
Why?
Because your team stinks.
No, I reckon he did that because he's like putting the rat. He's starting to like make the person nervous.
Yeah, he's making
He's
him.
letting them know, like, hey, we know what's going on.
Is this
here.
a Netflix
What
show?
does Spaniard say? Shitty ass. He's going to make
Yeah,
him
shitty ass. Like, come up the lane, shitty ass. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Go
He's
on,
trying
go
to
on,
make the
go on.
rat feel nervous. Mate, what?
Why?
Ange knows who it is.
Hold on. Just put yourself in. You're the rat in Tottenham, let's say.
I'd love to be.
And then now you just see Ange's. You
would be.
You just see Ange's press conference, and he goes, "We've narrowed it down to a few people."
Yeah, and you know what I do?
And you're at home watching it.
Ring Ange straight away and go, I know who it is.
So
I
who it
reckon.
is.
I
It's
reckon.
Miller Jedinak!
Do you know what I would think after that press conference? In my head, I'd be like, the first person to reach out to me is the rat.
Well, yeah. So I'd be the second.
Yeah, you'd hold off, bro. You'd hold off a day.
For those who
You tell
don't,
Millay to call him for hey,
those-
Millay.
yeah.
And
I do
he
the
just
Lloyd
said
on
he
him.
wants you to call
I
him.
do the Lloyd on him.
That's who wants to call out.
Yeah. Hey, boss wants to speak to you. I'll call him. For those who don't have context of what we're speaking about, I actually haven't seen the full clip. I've just heard about it. But Ange Postecoglou, again, got in the press conference and said that they have a rat in their camp who is leaking information to opposition, whether that be around lineups, injuries, and so on and so
to the
forth.
media.
To the media.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
to media, he
Yeah,
reckons.
like media is aware of what's going on with their squad and stuff. Like injuries,
I thought he was
selections.
saying the other teams look like they know what they're going to do before they do it.
Maybe. Did he reference that?
That's what I thought he was
I took
saying.
it as
Okay.
media.
Oh, okay. That probably makes more sense because I was thinking, how is he picking up on them knowing what he's going to do? Like you have to be very aware. Of,
Yeah, like,
it wouldn't be that obvious.
and
I
that,
feel
yeah,
like.
correct. How would you know? Like,
Yeah, okay. If it's media, that makes more
because
sense.
you could almost just watch back their whole season and they play the same way.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
oh no, they leaked that you play a high line.
You're like 9 up front.
Tottenham boss Ange Postecoglou has no doubt that there is an inside leak at the club, as the Aussie insists he has a good idea about who the rat is.
Jerome.
The Australian has been incredibly straight speaking since arriving. Yeah, we know that.
Can we do a skit of
here
Ange
we go.
interrogating the rat?
Here we go. Ahead of Thursday's Europa League draw against Frankfurt, speculation surfaced online that Wilson Odobert had suffered a hamstring injury that would rule him out of the contest. However, Odobert wasn't involved in the matchday squad and was even named on the bench, but he remained an unused substitute. We've narrowed it down. I've got a fair idea where it's coming from. It doesn't help us, obviously. It's sometimes half-truths and sometimes more. You'd like to think everyone within our camp is working with us rather than against us. So, yeah, I guess it is to the media.
Which in turn is helping opposition because the media is writing about it.
Well, yeah.
So either way, it's same.
Yeah.
I just think that, again, my point has been proven right. Now, they could go on and win the Europa League.
Wait, what's your point, though?
My point, well, you weren't here. My point was that he is too press conference heavy about all the stuff that he says compared to what's happening with the squad. He's too focused on being straight speaking and I know that's how he is and I know that's how he's been successful and that's fine, but there's other pressing issues.
What he's trying to say is that Ange should just hide his cards more, not give as much emotion and information away in press conferences about situations and how he's feeling, and just worry about the X's and O's.
I think that's nitpicking, bro. I don't think that affects anything to do with this.
Yeah, I said he does
play.
100 press conferences, so it's like he's bound to fucking...
No, okay, Rash
they're
needs
14th.
more context because he wasn't here last week.
Yeah, okay.
You can do that when you're doing well. You can nitpick everything and be like Pep and Mourinho and all that when you're doing well. When you're that low on the table and when you guys stink it up, then if I'm a Tottenham fan, I'm fuming. I don't want to hear all that shit. Fix it.
Win.
Yeah, win.
However, can still make Champions League.
Yeah, they can. They can. But again, that's...
They have to go away now.
Bro,
to Frankfurt.
honestly, I think
I'm
that's...
not a fan of it, bro.
I think that's the kind of thing that fans say when they have no idea about football.
But
I'm not
thanks.
saying about you, sorry.
Thanks, Rash.
You've really jumped off Ange, by the way. I've noticed.
It's just becoming a trend at this point. Every week there's something said, man. Just go and win a game of football.
But what do you want him to do? Just sit there and
Win a
say
game of
nothing?
football.
No, but what in the press he has to do the press conference. So what do you want him
But
to do in the press
every
conference?
time is a Shakespearean show.
Bro, that's just him being himself, though. I don't think he's putting on a show. I think he's just answering questions the way he wants to answer questions as he normally would.
Okay, then do it better.
Which was seen as refreshing when he first came to the Prem.
Yeah, it was refreshing when they were doing well.
And the results were
Yeah,
there
but
as well.
That's why everyone loved Ange
my
Ball at
point-
the start.
Why would he change with results?
I'm not saying for him to change, right? What I'm saying is, as a fan, I'm fuming. You come out every week and there's a new story, a new Netflix series about what's going on at the club. Man, if I'm in his position, and again, I'm nobody, I've got no credentials, I'm just saying, next question, like the rest of the managers do.
You know what it is? I think it's as a fan, the way I see it, or I would see it if I was a Tottenham fan, is like we're upset because we're not winning, and you seem upset because of all these intricacies.
Yeah. Someone
And
put a
it's
phone
like,
in your face. Someone
I want
let
you to be upset that you're not winning as well. Like, I want that to come clearly across.
Oh, I think I could guarantee you that he cares more than anyone else.
Correct.
Yeah.
And,
Like,
also,
that's fine, though.
It doesn't. I don't think what he says in the press conference has any effect on what happens on the park. So it's
Are
not
you
like,
serious?
if you
I
start
agree.
changing your style in the press conferences, you're going to start doing better and focusing on football. It's like
it's not even that.
No.
he just goes and does the press conference and then he goes and focuses on football. I don't think it has anything to do with
Rash, when you're talking about stuff going on at the club, players, fans, this, that, of course it has an effect.
It leads to almost, or at least maybe the way I say it, it's like you're almost not justifying, but connecting these issues with the results.
I'll tell you straight out, the reason that Chelsea fans have turned on Enzo Maresca is because of what he says to the media. I know that for an absolute fact. Also, as well, our sort of shitty form, even though we're in the top 4, but most of it comes from, hold on, Chelsea, we win every fucking year. We win something, and you're coming out here saying we're not ready, we're not this, we're not that. Fuck you. And then the fans turn on you, the home atmosphere changes, and then they say, oh, the fans aren't loud enough. Then it's like, don't fucking tell us. We're paying. It has an effect. I disagree with Rash and you, because you
No.
I
I'm
do,
not
yeah.
saying it doesn't have an effect on the fans. It definitely has an effect on
No,
the
but that
fans.
in turn has an effect on the football. What, you want to play in a stadium where all the fans are pissed off? No. You want a rocking atmosphere?
Yeah, okay,
These
all right.
things are all...
Fair,
that's
all
a
right,
fair
fair. That's a fair point.
It's a what's it called? A chain reaction.
But what I would say is them being pissed off at that is misplaced anger, I think.
So who should they be mad at? The fans.
But
Oh,
for being 14th,
Yeah,
Well,
I'm not
just
saying they shouldn't
Tottenham being
blame. I'm not saying they shouldn't blame him, but I'm just saying
But, like,
the
they've
press
never-
what he says in the press conference has nothing to do with the quality of the squad and how they're performing. Nothing. So if they're like, oh, shut up, just answer it in this way. If he started just going in there and going, yep, well, that's not going to turn the results around all of a
Question.
sudden.
No, it won't, but it does
Do you-
change the culture.
I was going to say, do you think maybe the other stuff like the phone stuff, whatever, wouldn't really change how the players play and whatnot? But if you hear something like there's a rat within the club,
Yeah.
as a player, do you not think...
but this must be for him to bring it up now. It must be like getting to a point of like,
It's out of
this
hand.
is getting out of hand because it was like he's saying they've narrowed it down. So they've obviously been investigating it for season long.
Again, I don't have... Let me make myself clear. Managers can say what they want in press conferences, but it's every week. That is my issue. Okay, every manager in the world says VAR, the refs were disgusting today. They've all done it. Every manager in the world has said something that has annoyed their fan base. They've all done it. They've all done it. But every week, he's in the limelight for his press conferences. That's my point. Again, that's how he is. He's not going to change how he is. He's been greatly successful up to this point. It's been the biggest challenge of his career. Vince was here saying that the great thing about Ange is that he will literally be the last one on a sinking ship. He will fight to the end. He doesn't care. It's a good quality to have. But I don't have the exact answer, but it's like, why every week your press conferences are more popping than your results?
Can
Well,
I
that's
ask you
same
this,
as
bro?
Amarin though at Manchester.
Yeah, and look how they're doing.
But like people love him.
But I think I relate it. The reason I say it is I relate it to a similar comment when fans go, like, for example, Manchester United player, they see them at dinner at a restaurant. They're like, fucking, you should just focus on your fucking football.
No, that's completely different.
And it's like, bro,
That's
what, you
completely
want him to not eat dinner?
What does that
That's
have to
completely-
do with
I
this?
think it's the same thing. It's
They
like,
don't see them out
it's
for
got
di-
nothing.
they
It's
don't
got
see
nothing to
them-
do with what
No.
his effect as a coach and how good he is as a coach.
Because
what
they-
he says in a press
They
conference.
see that player maybe once.
So Jerome, let me put it to you: if you were a player at Tottenham,
Bro, every week.
it would be bothering you.
Yeah, it would be. Especially if I'm not starting or whatever. Like, mate,
All right, if you're starting,
if I'm starting,
because 11 players are.
would it have an effect on me? It's definitely got obviously more of an effect on the the feeling around the club as with like fans and stuff. In terms of players, it just depends what type of player you are. Sometimes you want a manager to absolutely go out there every week and just bat for you and, defend everything and say it was a ref's fault and say it's this and say it's that. Some players love that. But others just don't want the spotlight on them that much. You guys are making other points which add in, but my main point is it's every week. There's something every week. I've never seen this. The only time I've ever seen this is when the manager is in first or second spot. It's every week something with this guy.
But I guess this is just a good reminder of why we're in the results-based business. Because if tomorrow he gets into Champions League or whatever, all of a sudden he's a genius. We love his character. He's the best. Yeah,
that's everything, bro. This
is the fickle fans of football.
That's what it is. Unfortunately, that's just the business. And I don't want it to sound like I'm attacking him, but I am just piecing together that every week after the Premier League fixtures, an Ange press goes viral. There's so many. There's so many. And I get it. Let me just say, journalists are sneaky bastards. Not all of them. But the ones in there, they're looking for a rise. They're looking for they're looking for moments that they can sell. Daily Mail, The Sun, friggin' whatever. All these companies, they're looking for it. Sky Sports, they want a reaction because it gets clicks and then in turn it makes them money.
So do you reckon potentially this club leak is cashing in?
You'd be a dickhead not to.
Hypotheticals here. Like you'd think if they're doing it for money. If what he's saying is true.
I'd have to ask someone like Vince or whatever on how it works selling or giving news to the media. I definitely know that they do pay.
Well, British papers are awful like that.
Yeah. So I think they'd be getting some type of compensation. Damn. To do that and not get compensation for it and just do it out of spite.
That's an Arsenal fan working at Tottenham.
Yeah.
Or someone is trying to get him sacked.
Yeah, maybe.
That doesn't like him, has a vendetta against him.
As well, so.
Maybe.
I think that's...
I wonder who it is, and I wonder if they'll ever reveal it. If he's gone this far and said it, I hope they reveal it.
Yeah, I hope so too.
I hope they reveal it.
Yeah, like put him on show, bro.
Yeah, because you can't... But yeah, I just think, man...
Can you imagine there's no rat? There's no rat. There's nothing. There's nothing that's been going on. You just needed to send nothing.
Wouldn't put it past. Wouldn't put it past Spurs. But look, again... They could win Europa League, they could make Champions League, and then everyone could turn around and say, but I guarantee you that...
Fuck, they should have beat Frankfurt, man.
It's not a... Longevity-wise, it's not going to work. Like, it won't. But, again, I want to reiterate for all those fucking people that have listening problems. Ange is awesome. He is.
Australian football icon.
Yeah, like, it's just a shame that the one... guy we have worldwide that's probably the most renowned Australian at the moment in football is always in hot water with something. Like, I just wish it was somewhere else. I know they're going to say, oh, no, but then you don't have ambition. Bro, I don't care.
But this is normal in football. Like, this trend that's happening with the loud noises of press conferences and problems, this is very normal pre a sacking.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like, this happened with Mourinho at Man U. This has happened with many coaches where, Conte, when he was at Tottenham, they start going a little bit off character, off grid.
Oh, yeah, a lot of managers have done it, man.
And then the ownership and people and the pressure gets too much and a chop.
Do you think that there is any way that he could potentially answer the questions? Just taking the fact of the situation that he's in, who he is, which team it is, all these little moving parts, and then he gets a question in a press conference. Do you think there's any way of him answering that question without it being like heavily viral?
Who the hell am I to tell Ange how to answer?
No. I'm just saying. Do you think there is an answer that he could give that would take that away?
No, I don't want to put it on. No. I'm in a serious mode. Yeah. Seriously, bro. Like, I just think you can be honest, but you don't have to make a show out of everything. And I'm not saying he's doing it on purpose. That's how he is. Okay, maybe cull it a bit, bro. I don't know. But I just feel like it's... For instance, if someone asked about the rat, it wouldn't have gone as viral if he said, we're aware of what's going on and they'll be dealt with.
Yeah, he likes to... So you're saying he's too detailed?
Yeah, and the whole
Too many dates.
and just being passive aggressive. And I know I know he's giving it back to the journalists, but the whole listen, mate, what a stupid okay, yeah, all right. You're
Mate, he's in the pressure cooker, bro.
You're a wog from Melbourne. I get it.
He's in the pressure cooker, bro. This is the most pressure he's ever been under in his life.
Yeah, and he's adding to it.
Yeah, but like it's you know what I mean. It's just
Am I not wrong by saying he's adding to it?
I think there's an element of like he's not a defensive.
I don't think he's fearing. I don't think he's fearing any of it.
Yeah, I don't think he's a defensive.
I think that's why he's. I don't think it's gone. It's not making him sleep at night.
As an outspoken person, I can tell you that a lot of outspoken people use it as a coping mechanism.
Yeah, but Angie's like almost 60, bro. He's been in football for 45 years.
Again, this is all just theories. We usually don't do that up here much, which I'm sort of proud of. Just theorize about
other people
other
and shit.
people.
Yeah.
Well, we're not there, yeah,
But I'm just saying how I see it. And again, I'm going to sound like a broken record player. Every week, there's something. I'd love for them to just... Well, I wouldn't because they're Spurs. But I'd love for Ange to be successful and not have to do this. And speak about the style of football or positively... Speak about something positive.
I think if you wanted him to be like that, though, then he wouldn't be him and he wouldn't be where he is. I think that's the issue.
And there's not much to speak about at the moment on that front.
Let's move on because I feel like I'm going in circles and I feel like I'm going to contradict myself at some point.
If we keep talking, I'm going to contradict myself.
I've said my point about 27 times over two pods. So I think I'm going to leave it there.
Let's go. Next topic.
If Ange hears this, don't be mad at me. I want the best for you. I just want you to leave Spurs. Man,
what would you...
you know what?
Yeah, where do you want him to go?
Straight out, I'll tell you straight out. Right? Get the fuck out of the Premier League.
Why?
This is going to be a huge call.
Because also...
Ange could go coach an Italian powerhouse, a German powerhouse, or a French powerhouse. I know there's not many of them, but he could do that. If they had Vincent Kompany at Bayern Munich, Ange could have... If Ange had that squad and that quality... Man, he could go coach one of those big teams. He's gone to the most toxic... fucking dump garbage hole of a fucking club.
But that's what he likes.
Let's cut that clip up and send it to the Tottenham Facebook groups.
He is the rat.
He hates him. Yeah.
That's what he likes.
Well, that's why he took up the job.
Like,
that's
he
what he
wanted a challenge.
Yeah.
Well, if he liked the challenge, he should have, I don't know.
Tottenham is the definition of.
Can I ask you, if you went to Chelsea, what would you think of that?
Best manager in the world.
To be honest, obviously, I'd oh my God, I'd be like, oh my, there's an Aussie coaching. When Mark Schwarzer was there, I was like, what the fuck, there's an Aussie at Chelsea? But obviously, I would back him. But there does reach a point where
you would have turned by now if Chelsea were 14th.
100% I would.
Yeah,
fair enough.
14 is really low.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like you're in the bottom 25% almost.
But Ange is good enough to go coach somewhere else and even at a bigger level, because everyone's always like, why would you tell him to go down? Why would you tell him to drop down? Why would you tell him to lower his expectations? I'm not necessarily saying that, because really, if I said Ange should go to Nottingham, you would all say, oh, that's dropping down. No, it's not. They're fucking in the top 5, top 4, whatever they are. And look where Tottenham are. So they're just using Tottenham as a name. It's not really, like, they haven't done shit in shit. But I reckon Ange could go win the Bundesliga with Bayern.
This might give you some point to your having jobs at clubs that are already somewhat successful. Kompany, if he wins anything with Bayern, is not that impressive from a coaching perspective to me.
Yeah.
It's
no.
You know what I mean?
It's not.
Yeah, you look at your squad, look at your...
He came from a relegated
look at the league
Burnley.
that you're in. Yeah, exactly.
So that... I just think that...
It gives some credit to what you're saying about...
Can I just say one thing about Ange's Tottenham? Like the gamble he's playing. So, because they're 14th. They've scored, I just double checked then because I knew they were really high up. But they've scored the 3rd most goals in the Premier League this year. So
how many have they conceded?
Exactly. Yeah. So this is to reiterate my point, right? They've conceded like the 2nd highest or 3rd highest as well. It is because when you watch them play, bro, it is so much gamble in their play that they have like 4v2 at the back situations with attackers coming at them like 15 times in a half.
That's really
And that's
bad.
why
Like they
centre backs
really
are ripping
get,
hammies.
and it's just like, just tighten the screws, bro. Like just tighten them, and you'll be okay.
But Jake, that's the thing. We say stuff like that, and then people say, "What the fuck would you know?"
The only teams that have scored more goals than Tottenham is Liverpool and Man City. Liverpool
And
scored
they
like
are
70.
high-scoring teams,
Liverpool scored
yeah.
like 15 goals more, but Man City's like one.
Yeah, but then
above
if he
them.
doesn't play like that in the way that he's playing, he wouldn't score as many goals. So you
Well,
can't
that-
just be like,
well, no,
just
that's
stop doing that.
And that's where that balance he hasn't found with Tottenham.
Which, you know what? Then if he does find it, this is why I truly believe this. You got to believe in something before it's obvious to do so. That's why if people believe in us once it's obvious to believe in us as a podcast and as a group, I don't really appreciate that. I appreciate it when you see the potential early. Now, when it's not clear and obvious that
This is going to work.
this is going to work.
Oh, I do. I just think
You know?
the potential should be used elsewhere.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
I see potential. I wouldn't be speaking about Ange and doing pods on him and shit like I do if I didn't think he was. If I just thought he was straight out trash.
So it's basically that Tottenham's shit.
Yeah, and he's not making it easier for himself.
Yeah, fair
it's
enough.
both of those things.
Yeah.
Like,
He's reducing himself to Tottenham's level.
oh man,
That's
he's
actually
falling
what it
into the
might be.
same trap that
It's-
every manager has when they go there. Mourinho, Conte, Poch. It's
Yeah.
the same
It's
fucking
the
shit.
crash out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of see that.
But if they win in Frankfurt, it's 2-2, which they should have won the game. They fucking should have won. Ekitike's
Yeah,
goal
it's
was
1-1.
unbelievable.
It's 1-1, I think.
1-1?
It was 1-1.
It's when it's 1-1.
Oh, 1-1. Yeah, but they hit the crossbar like twice in the
Yeah,
last.
they're very
They should have won.
unfortunate, yeah.
But if they get through and they've got a 1 in 4 chance of making Champions League, everyone will start to shut the fuck up a little bit because it's like maybe.
But that's such a
maybe.
weird loophole to be able to make Champions League
It's-
when you're 14th and you're.
They should have won the home game though. That's why there's the like you like.
What I
they
will
get
say
it
is
right.
though, that dies off real fucking quick. I've seen it with Chelsea. Di Matteo won us the.
He's the most pessimistic guy ever.
No, it's true.
It's
I know it's true.
Di Matteo won the Champions League with Chelsea. We finished 10th or 12th that season. He got sacked like 5 games into the next season because
only-
it wasn't fucking working.
But he only came in for 6 months though.
But
Yes,
also
but
with-
my point is that they can make Champions League. They can win Europa League, which would be huge for them. Be the biggest thing they've ever done in their whole history, right? Yeah, well, not that much, but they'll do that. But then it's like, okay, well, what? You're still playing the same football, are you? Next season.
Yeah, this is what I was going to say. If they make Champions League and under the new formula of the Champions League end up freaking 37th, it's going to look even worse.
Yeah, they'll get their booty hole
Because they're
punched in
playing
the
football that
Champions
will land them in that situation.
League. Damn. you
Remains
guys-
to be seen.
Let's
does.
move.
What else we got?
I just want
We're
someone
gonna be here
else.
for 3 hours.
I just want someone.
You dig
one
it
day,
in, bro.
I want someone one day to go out on a ledge with me. That's all I ask for.
But like it's
On your pessimism
like I
ledge.
disagree with the ledge. So
I don't
otherwise I
understand
would.
I'm not saying this one. I'm saying in general.
What other ledges have we not been on with you?
Yeah.
I'm on ledges, bro. You should call me Heath Ledger. Rest in peace.
Pause.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about that.
It's not a joke that he's dead. It's just his last name's Ledger. It's you guys don't make the room feel weird now. Mics are back on. Hope no one heard that one.
Yeah, because fucking hell.
Okay,
We
now
spent
alright.
way too much time on Ange. You know what? I think I'm going to delete the whole clip. Okay. This is bigger news than whatever he was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
There was a massive all-out brawl
Oh, shit.
at an under-11's game in Melbourne.
Crazy.
Now, unfortunately, I do have to name the clubs because, Herald Sun does, so
It's public knowledge.
public knowledge.
Yeah.
I believe it was Manningham and Rowville.
Southeast.
Now, shout out to Southeast.
Shout out to Southeast, bro.
I'm obviously a citizen of one of those. So let's bring up the actual facts so I don't get anything wrong.
Is this from the Herald Sun you're going to read?
I'm going to read it from...
Do you guys want to watch a clip? I've got a clip of it.
I've seen it.
You have not.
The clip of the fight.
Not my clip.
Well, it's made the Daily Mail in
You
the
got a different
UK.
clip. Yeah. I want to see.
So, shocking moment. Parents start trading blows after an all-out brawl erupts at an under-11 soccer match. The junior soccer match in Melbourne's northeast resulted in a huge bust-up when a fight broke out between the two players during the match between Manningham United and Roval Eagles. Midway through the game, the referee was forced to rush in and break up a fight between two 10-year-olds who clashed following a missed goal. However, parents of the two teams were unable to...
Sorry, can you... Two 10-year-olds clashed?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
So not different teams, not same
I
team.
don't know. However, parents of the two teams were unable to resist joining in on the disagreement as a brawl erupted. The parents then rushed onto the pitch to try to pull the players apart. One dad was grabbed around the neck and tackled to the ground by another man. At least 12 other parents were seen pushing each other out of the way in footage captured by a witness. As children looked on in horror, one of the Manningham United soccer players was spotted covering his mouth in shock. Oh, no shit. It's okay, honey. Daddy's fine. A woman can be heard shouting from the stands. Why is that in there?
Because that stood out in the video as well.
Yeah, it did. That was the end of the video.
A Roval Eagles committee spokesperson told Daily Mail Australia the club was deeply disappointed by the behaviour. Of course, they're going to say all that. PR. That's probably ChatGPT. Manningham United Football Club.
How should I feel?
Yeah.
Deeply disappointed.
Obviously, Manningham came out with another ChatGPT statement. Yeah, okay. So, obviously, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, it's a very hard one. Do you want to see the clip, my clip?
Yeah, let's see your
see your
clip.
clip.
What is it? A different angle?
I was going to say the same thing.
What is? What
I
is?
believe it's a different clip than what you guys would have seen. It's like more detailed.
More detail? That's 4K. This is so weird.
I really want to watch this.
I'll show you after.
It's so weird, Jake Barkadesh.
It is ridiculous.
Is there anything else, or is that
That's it.
okay? I'll be real. Again, this is I know people get different. I don't have a kid, I think. So people get different. They don't give a fuck who, where, what, or why. If it comes to defending their kid and other adults are involved, they're going to get involved. So I get that on the parental side of things. I know it's crazy to say that, but that's just the truth. Like, there are some parents that will take on Brock Lesnar. They don't give a fuck. But what the hell are you doing? First of all, if there is a bust-up between two-year-olds or however old they were, why are you running on the pitch?
I think what happened, now, this is what it seems like in the video. I think the first dad runs on because the ref is getting involved in that.
The melee?
Involved in the melee, yeah.
And then he's trying to break it up,
I think he's trying to, the ref's trying to break it up, so I'm assuming he's obviously grabbing them in some way.
Yeah.
And then I think the dad runs on because of the ref. So I'm not saying that's okay, but I'm just clarifying.
Yeah.
It looks like that.
Look,
to
it
me.
could be that, and that's well, it's not fine, but I guess my thing is, how many times do you see players do the jumper punch and whatever, and then the game just continues,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
Why
I think,
is it-
you know what's crazy is there was a clip that came on the internet, I think it was about 4 weeks ago, in America. Did you see it? Similar thing. Kids fight, the ref breaks them up,
Yeah.
and then first dad runs on to get the ref off the kid. And then obviously because one dad's running on, that person's dad, who's like the other kid, runs on, and then it becomes a fight. Exact same thing happened. It's oh man,
It's the perfect.
so hard.
It's the perfect match for a fight, isn't it? Like your two kids going at it.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
dad steps in.
Yeah.
What's the other dad? You leave no other choice.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
So like it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
The ref should have handled it better. Either you just let them go, like if you want to fight and be heroes, then fight. But the ref came in and was like literally couldn't separate it. He was like trying to grab them, almost
agitates
came
it
in
even
like
more.
almost aggravated the situation with his physicality.
Hold on.
But I don't know what he's supposed to do in
Well,
that
that's
scenarios.
like exactly.
I'll
That's-
speak
that's
to
a
what
fair
should have
point.
happened.
Okay, tell us what should have happened.
I'll tell you
I'd
what
be
should have-
fucking
Ref dad
interested to
Jerome.
find this out.
Where the fuck are the coaches?
Facts.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true.
Like,
true. Yeah,
if the ref, I've seen this. If the ref can't contain it, either a marshal gets involved, who's probably smoking a ciggy somewhere, or the coaches get involved.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Where it's like,
that's true.
Now,
Great
again,
point.
they could have. we weren't there. We only saw one angle of the video. Like, I don't know. The coaches could have tried to get involved. It didn't look to me like coaches were involved in the scenario and trying to break it up and pulling their own players away. Because if I'm a parent and my kids are punching on and I see the coach trying to pull away my kid from it, I'm not going to be mad. If you grab him by the hair and yank him to the floor, it's different. But if you're pulling players away like, oh, boys, what are you doing? Yeah, it's just like, okay. All I saw was the ref try to do that. Then one parent jumps the fence and then it's all in brawl. But where are the coaches? Again, I don't know. They could have been involved. I'm just saying from what I saw. And unless it is absolutely necessary, the parent should not be on the pitch.
Yeah, the guy got strangled. Like, did he go for the wrong kid? Did he grab the other kid? Because ultimately the guy who got him from behind. And at that time when he got him, he wasn't touching anyone. So
either that parent has gone in to break it up or they've gone in to get another kid off their kid, which is wild.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could even justify what the second guy did. Otherwise, it's I think crazy, bro.
I think it's just a good example of, like Jerome said, I'm not a parent, so fuck. I can only imagine how difficult it is.
It is tough.
In that scenario to see if your kid's getting involved in something and you're over the fence. But it does only make it worse once you run on.
Yeah. Well, bro, it's not how many times did you see parents fight?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking we'd go down this route.
I saw 3 in my junior career. Full on punch-ons and then a stabbing.
Yeah. And it's very...
Before the age of 14.
Yeah. And it's very scary for a kid in that scenario, especially because it's at a game where it's supposedly a safe environment. Where it's not like you're at a high school party where you're expecting to see that kind of stuff. You see your dad starting to get involved in fights and stuff. That's hard.
Yeah.
But I can sympathise that it's a very difficult scenario as a parent. But
that's the point I want to make. It's that I can't speak on it because if your kid's involved, sometimes you just see red. You're the protector.
What I will tell you though, from my experience as going through that as a kid, you never forget it.
Yeah.
Never forget it. Bro, I remember the exact emotions, the exact feelings, the exact line of sights of all those things that I saw as a kid, still to this day. I'm 31.
It's very young, though.
So, let me say something to this parents. Fucking selfish. Because,
Jake, is this not...
It stays them forever, bro. Because at that age, that danger kind of emotion comes in and you completely shit yourself.
I understand it more 16, 17...
When you're almost men, yeah?
What do you mean?
They're 10. Like, when I was 10 playing sports, I can't remember me ever or even seeing a major the kids with that attitude.
But it's also, I don't know. The cause of it is a missed shot. It's not like a bad tackle or something that in my mind would result in a bust up.
Well, do you remember New South Wales futsal? Under 11s, New South Wales played turned around and left hooked the Queensland player.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I do remember that.
The guy had a shiner the whole tournament and it was on for young and old, bro.
Yeah.
Why are kids not taught that's the wrong thing to do?
Well, but it's split seconds.
I know
and it's football and it's high emotions.
But it's like when you look at the parents that jumped on, it makes sense.
Yeah, it just stacks up what's going on.
But I've always said that, man. I've always said I don't know if I believe in this thing see red. I don't know if it is split seconds, but I think, especially as an adult, you need to have
control of your emotions.
Yeah, you need to be able to think clearly in those moments and assess the situation, right or wrong.
100%.
They set a bad example for the game, for the kids, for themselves.
Look, realistically, if that's how you behave at your kid's under 11's game, I feel like that's not the first time your kid's seen you in a punch on or punching something, and God forbid what else that means. You know what I mean? It is a lot. I don't know. Right now, you put any of our kids on a game, if we had kids, and I don't think any of us are running in for a punch on because someone told my kid, "Nice shot, dickhead," or whatever.
I don't know. I don't want to say.
I don't know how I would react, but I've been in those situations as kids.
As a kid,
and it's absolutely awful.
I'm looking at the Twitter comments. Someone said some coaches at the JB NPL level here in Victoria entice players to go out and hurt the opposition, thus fueling on-field violence.
True. Again, that's been happening for years.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've definitely coached before where I said, go crunch them, but this is 23, 24-year-olds that I was talking to. But
And he was making content out of the game, so he needed content.
What was your team talk?
Oh, I was just like, boys, we need to, if we can't beat them by playing, we have to absolutely bully them.
Right.
And that was for content. But 10 years old is so weird to me.
Again, can't coach.
Like, what?
If you have to say that to a 10-year-old, you can't coach, bro. Like,
what the hell?
at 10 years old, it should be purely technical.
I had
fun.
Even now, bro, when I get coaches and they talk about getting stuck in, it's like, yeah, no shit. What do we do with the ball?
Yeah. Like, why should I get
know I
stuck
have to
in?
tackle the guy and win 50-50s, bro, on second balls.
And then what?
If you have to reiterate that, there's a level of intelligence that's
ChatGPT would not say to hurt players. It would not.
Everyone can say fucking get stuck in, bro.
The thing is, I'm a big advocate for playing mean and being rough and stuff. But, But I think also it's like...
There's an art to it, though.
Yeah, this is why it's unfortunate in football environments, because football is the place where you're supposed to understand where the line is and be super competitive without crossing the line. And you kind of ruin it in those moments where kids lost the ability to understand what is the line to cross, you know?
Kids also don't know how to discern between just banter and, like, this guy's talking shit to me. I feel like, and again, I know adults fight all the time, but, like, even some comments at the Sandy game, younger person is going to take full offence to it.
Bro, what you hear at state leagues should not be heard by...
That's what I'm saying.
They shouldn't let certain age brackets in, bro.
Look, I think we all think it's disgusting. I think...
feel sorry for the kids that were in the fight.
Yeah.
Feel sorry for all the kids that were there.
And the clubs need to do something drastic here. I hate to say it, but whether it be banning parents or whatever for a certain amount of time, like, fuck, man.
Do you know what after the Knox game when the dad got stabbed... do you know what the club did for us, right? So we had a counsellor come in on the Tuesday night training and we sat in a circle and the counsellor made us all come up and, like, scream, like, at the top of our lungs, like, all our pain out, all our fear. What? And then we had to go around and, like, talk about what we saw, like, really...
ChatGPT wouldn't say that.
Yeah, but, like, this 20 years ago, but, like, still...
Did it help?
Yeah.
There you go.
Because we, like...
Screaming?
Yeah, bro.
But like,
11 years old seeing someone with a stab wound, bro.
Internal, like, conflicting, like, wait, because
it was like a counselling technique, you know? Like,
right.
Because we're playing a game, this guy ends up getting stabbed. You almost, like, you know what I mean? It's weird emotions for a kid.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's right.
No,
I'm just saying this is what we did.
It's something.
It's like you have to do something.
You needed to do
drastic.
something, bro.
Yeah.
You needed to do something.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. I don't know. ChatGPT statements, man. I hope the clubs are doing something. And this, to be fair, this actually has nothing to do with the clubs.
Yeah, it's got nothing. Those two clubs.
It just happened to be that the parents.
It's more general.
The parents were there and they were the clubs involved. It's got nothing to do with those two clubs. I know both of those clubs. Been to both of those clubs plenty of times. Always fine.
But it's also maybe a good opportunity, as if you're a parent listening to this, it's probably a good opportunity to think about and actually have a game plan in your head of what you're going to do if that scenario comes up in your child's game. Like, if your child is getting into a fight in your child's game, like, because it's going to come down to instincts or moments where if you don't have a plan, maybe you're going to end up running on the field.
And as Jerome said, the coaches.
And the coaches as well.
Probably most
everyone
everyone
have
involved with the club.
a duty of care. It doesn't matter what level. Coaches have a duty of care.
It did happen quick though, Jerome.
Well, maybe this is a point. Maybe clubs should have a protocol for if the kids start fighting on the ground, what is the expectation for that to happen? All right, it's the coaches are supposed to run on.
Yeah.
Parents are not allowed. Like, obviously, it goes without saying. I don't know if clubs have this already, but parents are not allowed to run on, and it's the coach's responsibility to run on in that scenario or whatever. I don't know. But maybe a plan.
In what world is any sport a parent's allowed to run on and start throwing hooks?
yeah. That should not be in the bullet points.
Should be a given, bro.
It's only ever happened. Well, cops got called on a Metro game we had 2 years ago, which was weird.
Yeah, but that's what, street football?
No, like, it's still a league.
Oh.
Like, he's dissing me. That's all right. The only other time it's happened with me, I think I've said it on the pod before, is that I would have been about 13 or 14, and one of the dads was having a right old crack at me, even though I was on his son's team. And my dad walked over and gave him his 2 cents, and the guy never said anything again. I personally think that's fine. if you're going to have a go at a fucking kid and you think you're Mr. Hero or whatever, and the dad comes up and says, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? I personally think if it's not impacting a game or whatever and it's done away, like...
But then what about if that escalates into a fight?
That's different. That's different. That's different.
It's just...
But if you're just going to say, don't speak to my son like that.
That's the flow on,
I know.
Isn't it?
But
which I don't disagree. I think I would probably say the same thing. If someone's dissing my kid, I'd probably be like, mate,
but I'm saying jumping onto the field?
A dad jumped onto the field at the end of the game once when I was like 13 and called me a gollywog. Come over to me and I was...
Gollywog?
Do you know what a gollywog is?
Yeah.
It's a new word.
It's like a black dog word.
That's where the word wog comes from.
It's like racist.
He jumped onto the field to say that to you.
Yeah. He come on the field and said, you're a fucking gollywog. Yeah, because apparently, like, I don't know, I scored in that game and I was shaking their hands happy, but we must have lost to the team before and he reckons like I must have walked straight off, which apparently that's a rite of passage to get all races. But bro, again, still remember it. Like, do you know what I mean? It's fucking selfish.
Yeah. Again, we got to really reiterate because someone's going to come and say, you weren't there, the coaches got... I know, man, we weren't there. But I really do hope the coaches got involved because they are the second person after the ref. The parents should never jump on the field, especially 10-year-olds. What the hell, man? What the hell are you on, Tay?
What?
On?
Yeah, what the hell are you on?
What the hell, Barry?
Yeah.
All right.
They're old.
I don't know what that is.
Wait, do we need a game or something?
Leave for the kids.
I need a wee. Is that all right?
Yeah, go.
This is the
Rogs, what
Is this the
topics
first
can we
time
open
I've
up?
done a wee during a pod? I think it is.
Definitely not. You and Gav serial wees, bro.
You and Gav, wee.
No,
Maybe-
Gavin, I don't think I've ever done it, bro.
Jirogs, what can we two-man pause until Rashid's back?
We can two-man...
Well, we got no Botic.
We can three-man the... Do you want to speak about the Raw or not?
Yeah, do you want to open that
I want
up?
to speak about everything.
Yeah.
All right, Jake,
I'm gonna
go, Jake.
Let's go on a ledge, bro.
Let's go.
Let's go on a ledge, brother.
Let's go. I'm right there with you.
So, I've been watching Brisbane Raw the last few weeks because obviously I had their game for Friday night on Paramount. And I want to caveat everything I say because Zach Anderson and Kaz Patafta are like really good friends of mine, that CEO and COO. And I know they're doing everything in their power to turn that club's trajectory around because we've got to remember this club 10 years ago was a club to be out in the A-League. Packed out stadiums at Suncorp. Invincible team, three-peat, right? It was the team to watch, Raw Salona. And they've fallen off a cliff top. But like some teams in the A-League, they seem to be really struggling to get high-quality individuals into their team. They seem to be selling young players for a certain price. But what was weird to me, and I'm trying to read between the lines here, and I spoke to Jerome about it today, was Ruben Zadkovic's comments around the way the club's being run and that it's an unfair playing field. So if we talk about unfair playing field, the A-League's got a salary cap. So everyone has the same level playing field in regards to what they can spend on players. He's implying that they've got an unfair playing field because they're not spending the same amounts. They're not spending the same amounts on players like the other teams, meaning that they're not spending the full salary cap, i.e. the ownership, so the people that sit above Kaz and Zach. Mm-hmm. So my sentiment there is like, if you have a club and you've got a salary cap and you don't pay it, why do you have the club?
Oh, that's your point.
Well, like, because he hasn't explicitly said this, but he's coming out trying to obviously they've won 2 games all season too. And maybe a part of it, he's trying to protect himself because results aren't great and so forth. But they sold Thomas Waddingham cheap, who's still their top scorer. They're paying off some of the previous owner's debts, and the current owner does not want to inject cash into the club. Like, there's some serious issues that they've got going on behind the scenes.
When did the ownership happen?
I'm not too sure, but
is it new?
The current owners of the Bakary Group, bro. They are minted.
Let me get this.
But have they basically maybe looked at it and been like, all right, this is a dying asset, I'm not going to put any more money into it?
It's either... this is where I'm trying to read between the lines of Zadkovic's comment saying it's an unfair playing field, like using Auckland as an example, using players that are going up against certain players of opposition as an example and comparing his own players to like, we're a bit behind the 8 ball, which is a strange strategy in itself. But the whole point which we wanted to open up was like, are owners choosing to not pay the salary cap, i.e. Central Coast, i.e. the Newcastles, clearly the Brisbanes?
I have no idea about economics. But my initial take when you told me was, it's added some more context now, but my initial take when you told me this was, it's never an even playing field. Ever, in anything, in any league in the world, whether they have a salary cap or not, there's always going to be powerhouses with more money or willing to spend more money. Now, yes, if I am a coach of a team and my owners, I feel, are not investing enough for me to be successful, then I'm going to have a problem with that. We see it all the time at Tottenham with the Levy stuff. Just that's a good example.
Yeah,
nothing to do with Ange.
Well, it's true.
But we see it all the time.
Yeah.
Right. So, yes, I understand the frustrations of a gaffer where it's like, fuck, what do you want me to do? Every transfer window, you say, oh, you got two options. You can bring up a 17-year-old or we can sign an Indonesian international who doesn't play. It's like, okay, well, what am I meant to do here? I get that. But at the same time, man, you're not the only club in the league that is not a money powerhouse. And I just think the word that got me was level playing field. If he left that out, then maybe I sympathise a little bit more.
Yeah, because it's got nothing to do with the other clubs.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. And look, people have said it about Zadkovic. He's a straight shooter, sometimes a bit too straight. And it sometimes rubs people the wrong way. You know, I've seen that from fans and whatever. But
I chatted to him off camera, by the way. He's a ripping guy.
I'm sure they all are,
I said to him jokingly on camera as well, just to like lighten the result. I was like, every game that they score in, and I don't know if it seems real, but the players run to him. Like there's this real strong togetherness. They've won 2 games out of 23.
Yeah, maybe there's a thing between the above people, and him and the playing group.
The owners of the club
can
pay the salary cap, bro. The Bakri group, they are rich.
Yeah, but
so they're choosing to not.
Yeah, but if it's a business choice,
but then wouldn't they just?
It's got nothing to do with football, maybe.
So, and then can I ask you?
Maybe they're trying. I don't know.
Can I ask you guys a challenging question here? Because obviously you want to coach in the A-League. Because if you're not coaching in the A-League and you haven't got the results on the board, what's your next job? Like going back to the NPL, not coaching, getting a day job, right? Like it's a pretty steep fall off. Or you get a back office job. But do you maintain a job where you're potentially set up for failure?
Wait, sorry, I don't understand.
Because he took the job.
Yeah. Knowing that they were going to do this, do you mean?
Well,
or maybe
so,
didn't know.
he's still there. He's staying. And he probably would want to stay. So at what point do you take the call as a coach to like, well, if it is an unfair playing field, I'm not going to do this job then because I don't believe this job's right for me to win? Or is it there? Or is that still that desperation in the air of like, fuck, it's a pro job. I'm just going to do it anyway.
I don't know. I think it's more from his side, probably not wanting to quit because it's too difficult type thing, as opposed to
because
he's coming out.
He's coming out and like explicitly like between blurred lines saying what's going on, but at the same time, it's like if it wasn't like that at the start, you took the job, but now you know, but you're staying in it. So can that be the same excuse?
I think football people have an ego, every sports person, but I think. And I could be wrong because I don't know that much about him or whatever, but maybe it's a situation of if I quit, then I really ain't getting a job anywhere.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Because it's like...
Well, that's what I'm saying, right?
So that could be the case. But you were saying about how if he loses an A-League job, where do you go? Great point. But we've seen it done before where managers have had really bad stints and they've been out of a job and maybe they go do media for a few months, or maybe they just kick it for a few months, or maybe they just go learn off someone in Europe or whatever, go to some seminars, get more knowledge under their belt, maybe even be an assistant somewhere for a year or two. You'll get the job back. It's the A-League, bro. It's the biggest recycling league in the world.
Yeah.
You'll get something back. Where did John Aloisi... Where was his worst run? Was it at Raw?
It was at Raw. He had Melbourne, Heart, and Raw were like his 2 shaky experiences, he said.
Yeah, so he was out. And now, again, I know his name holds a bit more weight maybe than Ruben's because he's like a Socceroos legend or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe that helped him get... But every manager goes through this sort of period where it's like, I'm out of a job. Am I good enough? Where can I step up to? Do I have to take a step back to take 2 steps forward type thing?
By the way, Brisbane are not the only one in this bucket. Is also what Zadkovic had said. He alluded to the fact Newcastle, similar boat, which you look at their team, it's like, they're obviously a lot more kids that are probably on that 70 to 120 grand type contract than the 200 to 300. Like they've got 80% of their squad are probably in that smaller bucket.
Can we find out how long they've owned the club for? Is that possible?
The Bakri Group.
Yeah. Is that possible?
Because Newcastle are changing ownership.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Central Coast, that's a discussion that's like potentially up in the air with ownership as well. So those owners do not want to put money in because they've been trying to get rid of the asset.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird one, man. So I don't know. Where do Western sit with their salary cap? Do they hit it, do you think? Western United?
I have no idea. This is the thing. I just presumed
like they're probably under.
I just presumed like when I was playing, everyone was just paying the salary cap because like
there's definitely people paying above the salary cap.
Well, you obviously then it comes like when you get your marquees, it goes to the investors in your pockets and how deep they are, which separate the Victories and Sydneys.
The Bakri Group, an Indonesian industrial conglomerate, purchased a 70% share in the Brisbane Roar, with FFA retaining the 30% share in 2011. In 2012, the Bakri Group acquired full ownership. In 2015, the Bakri Group was threatened with the removal of their licence by the FFA due to financial problems at the Roar. In 2016, the Bakri Group were reported to have agreed to sell the club but ultimately retained ownership. In 2019, the Bakri Group rejected an $18 million offer to buy the club.
What the hell, bro?
I don't know if they would be worth that now.
Jesus. But I do you remember that actually when I won't say the names, but when Brisbane weren't getting paid and all that stuff? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not laughing.
What was that, 2015, 2016, around that time?
Yeah, it rings a bell. They went through like it was crazy turn of events.
That's right.
So maybe that's hidden on the markets. Maybe that's a club that's going to be up for sale.
Yeah. So I think that's what it is. Yeah. They're probably looking at. I mean, it's a long time ago. A lot of things have changed since what 2011? Did you say?
Because I wonder if Perth. I was thinking about. I'm like, Tags has got to be on good money, but like maybe they're in the same boat of like
Tags.
Because the disparity between the bottom and the top's massive in the results.
Talking about smaller clubs, I've got a good video for you guys. I'm going to read something out here.
Wait, is there anything else we want to say?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That? I feel like there was another point we wanted to make.
But we're definitely going to talk about the Golazos.
Yeah, we'll talk about the A-League for sure. But I swear I'm going blank. I swear there was another point. All right, we'll bring this up if I remember it. Yeah. Bring it up, Rush.
All right, so just over to the Newcastles.
The Jetters.
Talking about the Jetters.
Oh,
I know what you're going to show us.
The banner.
What a performance.
The infamous banner? No. Do you know about the infamous banner that was stolen?
I'm aware.
Okay, so we took it into the ground, displayed it upside down. The securities took it off us and gave it back to them. I then went into their bay and stole one of their active supporters' hats and made him trade the banner again if he wanted his hat back. He took the deal and we then burnt it.
Oh, so
and here's the video if you want to see him.
Yeah, so he's just stood over this guy. Said,
well, there you go. We are watching a banner being lit on fire by a flare.
So this is the Newcastle fans burning the Central Coast Mariners banner. Yellow Army banner.
Yep. This is the thing. Yep. Shout out Newcastle.
I like it, man. I like it. They're trying to push some fanatical element into the game.
Yeah.
Which we need.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't know if that's illegal to condone burning items.
Newcastle was rocking in the F3 derby though. Like that, the whole ground, the stadium.
I slightly disagree with Jake's point. I feel like the crowd was a bit crap.
Well,
the active section wasn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to.
Yeah, okay. The active section section
active
wasn't.
Session was. They were going off. Bro.
Yeah, Newcastle have a very core loyal group of fans.
Are they going off that much all the time though? Like, was it because of the derby? Because it looked like it was pumping, bro.
It is a derby, but usually for derbies that is closer to a sellout, and there was no one on the wings. But regardless of that, On A-League, it was a very entertaining weekend. One of the best weekends in A-League in a while, I would say. There was a stat that came out maybe about 2 weeks ago. And I'll get to this later in Amateur Agents, but someone said, boys, I genuinely think A-League is one of, if not the best league in the world to watch. My mates laugh at me. They think I'm taking the piss, but I'm being dead serious. Now, I wouldn't agree with that, but goals per game in the 24-25 season, first, A-League, 3.28. Second, Bundesliga, 3.12. Third, Premier League, 2.99. Fourth, Liga, 2.97. Fifth, MLS, 2.70. So, La Liga's 7th, Serie A's 8th. The Championship is 10th. So, the A-League, out of the big leagues in the world, has the most goals per game. Now, I want to ask you fellas if you think that equals entertaining football.
For me, no. For me, no. And I think probably the best explanation of the reason that we call it the beautiful game was on the Argentinian documentary, where that guy says to Ali, the reason that this game is so good is because there's so much tension, that it's so small amount of goals are scored in games where that there's a big amount of tension that's built up, that finally when the goal comes, it's an eruption of emotion and feeling.
That's how I explain football to my family members. They're like, I don't get it. There's 0-0. And I'm like, yeah, but we celebrate 10 times, 15, 20 times harder when it's 1-0 than you do kicking a goal every 5 minutes in AFL.
So are you referencing like an ejaculation?
Exactly. Yeah, it's a. I believe
How
he actually
seamlessly they agreed with that without
because I believe he actually uses the word in the documentary. I think he said something like climax or orgasm or something, where it's like this build up of emotion and then an explosion.
Yeah. But having goals has got to help, bro.
But I just don't think because it's like this, right? If we said that there's 5 goals per game in the state league, does that make it a better spectacle just because there's more goals? Like, obviously, that's because the defending's not as good.
But see, I think it depends what the scorelines are, is where the goals matters. Because it's like, if you hear, there's 5 goals a game, but it's 3-2, or every game is 5-0, very different.
Well, a lot of those A-League games are closely-ish contested, but again, on Rash's point, I think I'm maybe in the middle, but I sort of lean towards Rash's point of okay, then they're scoring all these goals, but it's like the defending. Then what is?
Well, and to be honest, even this weekend, like I think most of the games, just to your point, were around like 3-2, 4-1, whatever, right? But when I'm watching the games, it's not even necessarily the defending. It's like the build up and then losing the ball in transition.
Yeah,
that's where the goals are coming from.
110% right. Yeah, it's because the whole league is very direct. It's very Melbourne City. Probably the most emphasis because the last few weeks they've had teams park the bus, so they have to move it around. Like they had 67% for 20 minutes in Brisbane Roar's front third. So that's
holy
chess.
Shit.
Obviously, you want to see goals. That's a given, right? You want to see goals. And if I go overseas and go watch Chelsea, I'd much rather us win 4-3 than win 2-0 or whatever. Do I?
Nah, bro.
I think you want to see quality of football.
Well, yeah, but
Pure neutral.
I'm saying goals in general. Okay, maybe let's use a neutral. Say I go to a championship game. I went to the championship playoff. It was 0-0. Or 1-0, sorry. I was like, fuck. This would have been much better if it was 2-3.
Wish I ejaculated more times.
Yeah, so yes, but I am not saying that goals necessarily equal a great spectacle. Obviously, they are the end-all, be-all when it comes to the result. But if you see two teams that play brilliant football, they're slightly missing chances off the post or whatever, and it ends 1-0 or 2-0, that can still be an amazing game.
Yeah.
But I do think it is, we have to give some credit.
Yeah, 100%, bro. We've got to give flowers for it. It's a fucking good thing.
Like, goals are being scored, and to be honest, the age-old Australian debate. I don't mind soccer, but there's not enough goals. Well, the A-League is out of the world's biggest leagues the most goals scored. So if you do want to watch soccer, maybe watch the A-League if you want goals.
I don't reckon there's an impersonation you can't do.
Well, it's just because I grew up around these.
But like, you can cover every species.
Most.
How about for the
Let
listeners
alone
out there,
race.
by the way, when Jerome did his impersonation of the New Zealand, the Wellington team, looking for their sushi and not eating a souvlaki, that caused my mum to no longer watch our podcast because she thought he was being offensive to the New Zealand team.
This is one of the highlights.
Isn't that? She literally doesn't watch our podcast anymore because of it.
Sorry.
So thank you, Jerome.
It's not the time you sort of farted in the mic.
It's funny that was the catalyst after all
it's like
after all that you've
most
done.
G-rated thing I've ever done.
Where's my fucking sushi?
Shout out Auckland.
Yeah.
Shout out Wellington, bro. We're coming back to Wellington.
All right, whatever, man.
But yeah, some credit, of course. I mean, I'm not hammering the A-League. I just don't think it necessarily means it's a good league because they score a lot of goals.
Do we want to talk about some individuals and goals that we saw this weekend? Because
Yes.
there's some fucking stats and things to go through.
It was a brilliant weekend of... I saw another tweet as well. I don't like when people call it A-Leaguer. I think it's weird. Just call it A-League.
What? What is that?
Oh man,
It's like a spin on the...
Actually, you know what? That's the homework for you both. I think we need to get you on Twitter.
I actually have an account. You could check if it's still there. I was verified.
Bro,
I don't know my password.
Yeah, but honestly, man, I'm
should
not
tweet
even
more.
joking. I don't know if we need to freaking take this out.
Please don't.
But, bro, I get onto Twitter. I don't follow anyone. The second video that I see is a man biting into a teenager on a train.
I never see anything like
Bro,
that.
and I'm like,
Twitter
oh,
is
what the
wild.
fuck, bro? I don't...
You know why?
I
'Cause you're
had
in the
no.
For
That's
You
not
tab.
my fucking. That's not my behaviors or my algorithms because I
Anyone-
haven't done anything yet.
Everyone that goes on Twitter and says, "Oh, there's all this fuck shit on it," it's because you're in the For You, bro. It's like going on Instagram Explore. You don't have to see that stuff. If you follow just football people and you click following, you're only going to see tweets from people you follow. So, but I think in terms of like keeping up to date with stuff, Twitter is by far the quickest and the best and the first. But what was I saying?
Sorry, yeah.
We were going to talk through the goals.
Oh yeah, the goals. The goals. But what did I say about Twitter?
Oh, because A-Leaguer.
Oh, A-League.
Oh, A-Liga. Yeah, everyone on Twitter calls it A-Liga. That's why.
Calls what?
A-League.
The A-League.
Like as in a spin on La Liga. Like a famous-
Like
Make
A-
it sound, like
A-Liga.
Yeah, right.
like it's posh.
Yeah, that's shit.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, good weekend of A-League. You almost got to highlight every game.
Yeah.
Because the
Where do
first
you
one
wanna
I want
start?
to highlight would be the F3 derby. Newcastle spanked them boys silly. Eli Adams is out of here.
I wish Victory never let him go.
What the hell was Victory doing? But to be fair, he wasn't like this at Victory.
They didn't get... Well, he didn't have the chance
That's
to.
true. But he looks like...
They probably could have played him ahead of Falami.
Bro, he's doing the Cole Palmer. He's
Bro,
bagging.
he's chilly, man. He's scoring goals. He's class, bro.
He like glides. I like him.
Also, I think Clayton Taylor.
Clayton Taylor, yeah, man of the match.
Wow. He scored... That goal he scored was with his opposite foot.
Yes, it was outside the box. Good
Top-
on him.
Yeah, top game.
Good on the Jetters.
They were some of the best goals of the weekend, I think.
The Jets ones?
Newcastle scored.
Yeah, man, they
like
smoked them.
high quality.
Like, obviously, it
goals.
didn't help that Mariners got a red card. But
but still.
6-0 in a derby. Oh, yuck.
Yeah, Central Coast, man.
This is
Play
what I
11
mean
behind
about
the
the
ball.
A-League. How do you win what they've won in recent times?
Yeah.
And then potentially
Just
be up
be-
for sale.
Yeah, just be like all of a sudden so shit.
Well, isn't that? I mean, that's a point back to your one on when what's his name? Montgomery.
Yeah, Nick Montgomery.
Yeah, they weren't spending that much money when he was there. I don't think. I actually don't know the facts, but I don't believe they were
Maybe
spending
just
that
good
much money.
recruitment, you know?
And he still did well.
Yeah. he
Well,
did really well.
they had some decent talent, man. They had a Dynamo South America. They've had a Dynamo South American through that period all the time.
But but the young players, I'm saying, like he was bringing
Which
young
is
players
like-
through, which is like
Everyone,
gold.
a lot of clubs are trying to emulate Adelaide with getting the
Well,
young prodigies to
They've fallen
abroad. Yeah.
the hell?
Wait, can we? Why are they sacking Carl Viet?
Don't look at me like that.
Why are you
While
looking
he's
at
licking
him?
his lips.
Why are you looking at him?
Because
for
I
that?
know something that he told me.
Oh,
Yeah, and he's hilarious. That's Jake. Oh, we can't say. I'll
can't
say.
say.
I'll,
Oh,
well,
damn.
well, we can't. We can't.
can you say something like subtle?
Oh, you want me to? You want to?
Kind of.
Do you want to be like Ange, or do you want to be like?
Ange.
You want to be like Ange? So what happened was.
Can you answer it in an Ange accent?
Yeah, how he would say it.
Bro, if I did it like Ange, I'd tell you what was happening.
No, yeah, but you're trying to be the new Ange, the new age of Ange.
The new Ange?
Yeah,
the new Ange that you're
Ange.
craving.
The preferred Ange.
Oh, the preferred Ange?
Yeah, Rashid, ask him a question.
All right, ask me about Carl Vert and why he left Adelaide.
Carl Viet.
Vert. Ask me about Lil Uzi Vert.
He's got to do it because he does the good press
ask me why
conference person.
Carl Uzi Vert left.
All right, Ange. Obviously, Carl Viet's had 140.
Hold on, why are we in England all of a sudden?
Because
Ange is in England.
Okay.
Unless you want to be Daniel McBreen or some shit.
Nah, that's boring.
Yeah,
More
okay.
fun. Hi, Ange. It's Patrick from Sky Sports here again. Obviously, Carl Viet's been one of the longest standing coaches in the A-League and performed really well for Adelaide with their youth talent, selling players abroad and getting results and bringing the city together. Why have the club taken the action to sack him?
Look, mate. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that the general public doesn't really know about. That's really all I can say at the moment.
That's how you would want Ange to be.
Wow.
Wow.
I see. Yeah, I get you now.
Straight bat.
I get you
Boom.
now. You don't know what's happening in his backyard.
You don't know what the fuck's going on, but I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Jerome.
So I'll give you a bit, but it's just like, you know,
Fair
just,
enough.
Just reel it in a bit. But look, this is where we need Patreon. Jake found out some things.
Allegedly.
No one knows, so nobody knows.
Yeah, I'm not sitting in the Adelaide boardroom talking to
Hey, I just had a thought. Could you imagine all the inside information that we know? Imagine we had a Patreon. What information our listeners could get
Hell, man.
from us that we could leak.
We just have some incredible people in the game that are sources.
we got some leaks.
We
got some leaks.
Yeah, rats. We got some rats, and they have a Patreon called The Rat Pod, and they openly say who they are, who they're ratting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But look, I don't think it's all as it seems. But again, it could be all he say, she say. But from what everyone's been told,
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just wanted to change as well.
Yeah.
But it didn't seem like halfway through the season that was Nest. They seemed like they were one of the teams to beat.
they seemed really good. Nestory said the best coach he's played with.
Yeah, like people, Adelaide boys love him.
Yeah.
And he's good for Adelaide because he's been in the original derbies. He's been there from day dot. He's the first goal scorer in the A-League.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? I didn't know that. Wow.
So they've fallen off a cliff.
Just back to the players. Who's that guy from Sydney? What's his name?
Segicic.
Wow.
Yes. You
Wow.
said you can't stop this.
Okay.
You can't stop
Oh,
that.
you just read my mind. I was going to ask, what was he mouthing?
Yeah.
You can't stop this on the second, which, to be fair, you cannot at the minute.
Yeah.
You know what?
Wow.
Again,
That left foot, why the second goal, no offense to whoever the fuck that Auckland player was, why you didn't press him, because he got the ball off a turnover and took a touch, almost waited for the pressure. The guy pretty much said, you're too far out. And then he hit the second shot, and it literally beat the keeper with pace.
What do you think happens in that moment? Because it happens so often, right? So often where you get the shot comes in, the reaction is the goalkeeper says, why are you not press the shot, close the shot? Coach says the same thing. What is happening in that instinct in that moment? Why are you not closing down the shot? Well, like, as a footballer, being in those positions.
Fatigue?
Fatigue.
You think it's fatigue?
Well,
it has to be.
I don't know. I mean, Auckland's mindset you can't really pick apart because they've been pretty flawless this year. So fatigue, but also I think
wonder if it's is he seeing a pass that way?
I just
and
think
I'm going to have to recover there. So I don't know.
Yeah, it could simply just be like, I need to stay in between here because if I press and he beats me, then there's a gap or whatever.
I reckon, yeah, and also I think, yeah, it's avoiding the next move behind him or something, not thinking he's going to pull trigger.
I always say that I want A-League people to have personalities, and I can't knock it, man. If you're talking the talk and you're walking the walk,
He's entertaining, bro.
then
Yeah,
fuck
bro.
it.
Just mixing it up a bit.
Fuck it.
Just
They were
mixing it up.
two-
Usually I wouldn't like it.
Even if he missed, I'd still be happy that he's shooting.
He's as you said with Eli Adams, he's gone.
Segic is gone. Eli Adams is gone.
Segicic is getting a decent deal.
Yep. Milanovic.
That's another Patreon one?
Is it? Oh, he's just a good player.
He's a great player.
He's just a great player that probably will leave.
Yeah, it's some interesting results. Nishan Velupillay onto
my
victory.
God.
6
You know
goals
what?
in 6 games.
He's 23?
100 games he's played in the A-League.
And 100 games. I thought he was younger than 23.
Yeah, which is it caught me by surprise when he was around the 75 mark. I'm like, he's played 75 games in the A-League?
Yeah, that's a lot of games. And he's very good.
No disrespect, because he is probably the best winger in the league, but it's no wonder why he's dominating. I'm like, he's had 100 games now.
Can I ask you
he's
this?
a vet.
Like veteran,
he's vet.
At
Bro.
23.
Because I think he's got a lot of potential. What do you think from a pundit's perspective? If he goes to Europe, do you think he's quick enough to affect games in the way that he needs to in that type of a position?
Depends what league. One thing about him,
Because I think he's an extremely good player.
he is not the quickest, but
He's sharp.
I think he's very composed. I think he's very calm. And I think he'll get even better in those aspects as he gets older, because he's still 23. It's not young, but it's not old. He's still got plenty of years to play, obviously. He doesn't necessarily have that knock and sprint past you.
I mean more sharpness. I don't mean. I mean agility. I don't mean.
Nah, yeah, I think he's got it, bro. He scored 2 or 3 goals this year where he's been one-on-one in the box and he's found a yard and he's beat the keeper. So he definitely has that. When he gets in behind as well, they usually don't catch him. So he does have that turn of speed. Yeah, he's packaged. But I know you said he's young. I feel 23. He has to go to a league and a team in particular where he's going to play every week.
Hey, man,
You can't have a 2-year hiatus that sometimes at 23 to 25 and then come back or figure shit out.
Do you reckon players should stop? Aussie players should. We're not having this convo, but just a quick answer. Do you reckon Aussie players should stop opting for Europe straight away?
What do you think they should do instead?
MLS,
Japan.
Asia.
I think MLS is a decent option now. Before not so much, but now it's a good option.
I watched the most random thing yesterday on YouTube, and this is not going to answer it quickly, but it's a whole nother discussion because the CEO of Football Australia went on TalkSport with Simon Jordan.
Oh, I love
and
Simon
do you know
Jordan.
what he said about the league? The whole purpose of Australian football right now, from the female point of view, is to import players. The whole purpose of the male league and what the A-League wants to do is to export. So
I get that.
I don't know if they're just saying that because that's our only option. Because
Who
we
said
don't
this?
have
James Johnson.
James Johnson said it on literally on a British morning radio show.
Shout out Simon Jordan.
That's purely like football pundits and ex-football owners and stuff.
Right.
He was on there talking about Australian football.
I get that because you look at the Matildas, they're one of the most popular women's teams in the world. And Australia, again, you have a lot of the Matildas coming from the W League. And they want to be one of the top women's leagues in the world. And because of the respect the Matildas have, maybe people would look like, oh yeah, we'll go play, women's league in Australia because,
It's a top 5 nation in the international standing.
Yeah. So obviously, big American market, now, big English market,
French market.
Spanish.
But do they have the money in Australia to
I was gonna say, is
pay
there-
importing?
Well, this is the thing because
Sure. Could
they're on the same boat as the A-League.
They could inject though.
What do you mean they're in the same boat as the A-League?
Well, the A-League has
By the same
has financial strain.
Well,
the
yeah.
owners own the same clubs that these clubs have the same
Yeah,
problems
yeah.
with.
Yeah. But
So
again, you
how
got to
does that
look
work?
at what women are earning compared to.
No, that's what I was going to say. Like their offerings for the salaries are nowhere near probably what you're going to get for a quality player in Europe or America. To
Yet
get them
on
to
the
come here.
international stage, we have a CBA agreement, a collective bargaining agreement that it's equal pay.
For the Matildas, you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're talking about the leagues, right?
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, like,
What's your point, Rash? Sorry.
Well, he's saying that they're trying to import female players into the A League.
Well, because also, right,
how are we gonna do that
what he
with no
alluded to, it wasn't just players, it was definitely that, but it was also, we've had the Women's World Cup in Australia, we've got the Women's Asian Cup coming to Australia, and then Brisbane, we've got the Olympics, which football's going to be a big part
points.
of. Yeah.
There's selling points. I think that's probably more, what's the word I'm looking for? Feasible than like the A-League. That's way more feasible than the A-League becoming like stronger.
Do most Matildas play A-League or
overseas,
right?
Our top 30 players are in Western Europe.
Okay, so that's what I was going to say. Because on the whole thing, it's like, I don't know if a country being that good on the international stage is going to make it that attractive to go play league football in that country.
I think it has a lot of weight because what team is good internationally? And
Croatia. Not that many people are dying. Like, if you're giving them all the options.
No, but they still have clubs that play Champions League.
But that's only because they're in Europe.
But I feel like they're an outlier. Like, if you look at most of the major good teams,
Spain, the league is good. England,
Germany.
Italy, I hear it.
I'm just not sure I'm following the conversation. So he's saying that their intention is to bring female footballers, international female footballers here,
to make the game
to play in the local league, A-League.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
How are they going to do that?
What do you mean? You talking
So you're
about?
trying to sell them
you've got to be able to give them a better offer
money
than what they're able to get.
I don't have the answer.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Yeah.
He's saying that's the long-term goal.
It would be money, Rashid.
Yeah.
You sell the lifestyle, you give a bit more cash.
Yeah.
But also, I think my point on that would be that I don't think you can compare them to what the men's earn in the A-League compared to what.
Well, I mean, even internationally they don't, right?
Yeah, so maybe that's a bit more easy to do, entice players to come down when... Because, for instance, if I run an A-League club and I bring down a women's superstar to my team to play, maybe that has a better effect on the whole club in terms of merch, in terms of attendances. I'm not too sure. But you know that you see what the Matildas fans pop out for. Like if they had their counterparts come and play in the W League, then because especially a lot of Matildas return to the W League as well,
and they've all came out of it.
Yeah, and they all came out of it. So yeah, interesting point. Shout out Simon Jordan. I love that guy. What else happened in the A League, man?
Who else? Oh,
Victory.
City's on Auckland's tail. No, can you pull up the ladder with Western and...
I told you about City.
Dude.
They're coming, man.
Yeah, we're doing some content with them.
They're coming, man. City are coming.
Pause.
They're 4 points behind.
Wow.
Yep. What other game was there that I needed to talk about? There was the derby. There was Melbourne City, victory in Wellington, and...
We spoke about Sega.
Hold on, so I just pulled this up here. Who knows how accurate this is, but the minimum would probably be right. A-League Women's in Australia. So basically I've done what is the comparison between the A-League Women's average salaries and the NWSL.
Which is probably the main league we compete with to...
Yeah, because of lifestyle as well. Like
to import players.
Yeah, I would say so. So then the A-League Women's, you've got average salary 25 to 35,000 AUD. Minimum salary 25,000 AUD. Top salaries 60 to 100,000. Now that's a pretty big gap, but let's just say 100,000 AUD. And then NWSL in the USA, average salary 54 to 65,000 USD. Wow. So that's double.
That's the top wage in Australia.
Yeah.
But we don't know.
Minimum salary 37,000 USD and top salary is 300,000 USD. Yeah. So that's what, like 500,000 AUD.
I'm going. So
that's more than A-League men's.
Yeah, but
no, sorry, that's not correct. It's not more than A-League men's, but it's close to.
Yeah.
It's close to.
But I think if you compare anything to America, we're going to lose money wise.
Yeah.
Like,
but we don't know if that's not like. Is that true?
Who knows? That's from my mate.
Who cares about the facts?
It's from my mate ChatGPT.
It's the kit man sending it for.
Yeah, it's like obviously you're going to go play where money is, but then again, like you can get more money in Saudi, but you might not
But that's the point, right? That's you're comparing Saudi lifestyle to, which I don't know. I've never lived there, but
I know it.
But USD compared, USD, America versus Australia,
Similar.
similar.
Yeah, it is similar, but I just feel like competing with America on any level, we're going to get squashed money-wise. The A-League will never...
They just throw money behind it to make it gooder.
And they got 350 million people.
But so then, wouldn't the argument be, all right, if we've got some money, instead of trying to reach for people that are imports, why don't we try to
Develop.
I don't know. That's devil's advocate.
We are developing though. Well, like all those top 30 in Western Europe came from the A-League.
That's what I was going to say. The development of women
But why don't we continue that?
exceptional here.
Oh well, yeah. I guess
If it's
just,
working.
I guess it's just like trying to get like a Marta, at the end of their career, or getting like
I think
some of
Can
these
we
high
talk
quality
on our
players.
thing yet?
they're
Or no?
saying...
Okay.
I don't
Probably
know.
not.
Fucking Patreon.
Rash, I think the point James Johnson is making maybe has to do with like, in terms of the women's versus the men's, it's way better for us to import women and export men. That sounds fucked. You know what I mean? I'm not even. We're not even taking that out. I don't care.
Yeah.
If anyone just tuned in,
Yeah. If you chose to tune in,
Go back 5 minutes.
Yeah.
trust me, it's not
Get
that
the
bad.
It was not that
context.
bad. It was
the
more
full
just
context.
the look in his eyes.
Because he knew as he was saying it what it sounded
I
like.
am not people trafficking.
Exporting men and importing women.
Australian men.
Crazy.
Australian men.
Uh,
Yeah, but I think there's already internationals that play in the W League, though, isn't there?
Yeah, there's definitely a few. Yeah.
It's never going to be like the number one choice, but it could creep up.
I think it's not. I think you could much quicker turn the W League into an international choice than you could turn the A League into an
That's my
international
point.
choice.
That's
You know
my
what I mean?
point.
Like, I think you could
Can you say that again?
more quickly, because of lifestyle and potential of the quality of football,
A powerhouse.
turn the W League into a powerhouse for women's football around the world, compared to the A League becoming a powerhouse for
That's
men's
true.
football.
That's a good point.
That's
It's
my
a
point.
massive
That's my whole
call.
point.
But
I'm
that's
just-
actually true.
I'm just going to give a correction for our woke listeners. It's no longer the W.
Yeah,
League.
I wanted to say A League women's because they're the A Leagues, but it's just
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you're
got
not
A-League
allowed to.
women's,
You're
yeah.
not allowed to differentiate.
You're not
It
allowed
just sounds whack.
You're not
It's
allowed
a
to
kitchen-
say.
kitchen
What's this
sets?
new shark?
Whatever, man.
Don't no idea. Ninja,
I'm a
I'm pretty
shark.
sure is like kitchenware.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, that's a full sponsor.
It actually is
Yeah,
some cool
but
shit though.
that's my whole point. Nor just
Shout
summarize
out
it in a
Ninja.
sentence.
as you become an adult,
Yeah.
that's just exciting.
yeah, I need to know.
It's true. It's true.
I think the women's league has a better chance of becoming
A super house globally.
Yeah, because the A League will never ever.
Well, yeah, the Matildas are holding the country name.
There you go. There's a women's football segment for you
For who?
for those listening.
Patreon.
Okay.
What else?
What else we got to talk about?
Oh, I got one
I've
more.
got a game.
Oh, okay.
Or you want to do it after your last topic?
Just quickly, Jake. We were speaking on the phone before about the power of player agents, and
Shid Mahazi, man.
Do we want to touch this?
I'm touching it up. I'm touching it up. Now, we don't have to say, too much, but long story short, I'll intro it and you can speak on your experiences. But, yeah, I know they're looked at as, sometimes a bit slimy and sneaky or whatever, but having the right network in the football world can absolutely change your trajectory as a player.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, well, and we've experienced both spectrums. I would say I experienced an agent that at 19, 20 wanted me to call coaches.
Yeah.
And you've experienced agents that you've been in a position to say no to clubs.
Yeah, and also took me from a position where I had nothing, got me a deal, then again had nothing, got me an even better deal.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Can you explain it to me? Like,
Then had an agent as well telling you like,
Shout out Tony
buy-
Ballas, by the way.
buy property. I didn't have that.
Yeah.
how does it work? Like when you're a young football, there's obviously people talking about you. Does someone approach you and go like, "Yo, I would like to Or do you kind of seek it out and go, I need an agent to help
I
me?
would like to fuck you over.
I reckon this is how
In a nice way.
this is how I reckon it goes, Nor.
Hey, can we just go to the tactic of building up his player profiles? Can we do that one?
What, building up his player profile?
Your agent, what he was doing, it was a great tactic for how he was getting players.
When he started,
Yeah,
he was poaching the best of the AIS.
yeah. Going to the AIS,
Which makes-
Oh, I
Getting
thought you were
it.
going to say some
It's a
shit like making
smart
fake
tactic.
FIFA cards.
No, that would be funny. Yeah, so which was a smart tactic, right? Which I don't know how you do that now, but typically the first agent you get
kids.
reaches out to you.
Right.
There's three styles. The first agent reaches out to you and you're locked in with him because like it's a football agent. You kind of take a chance. You've got nothing. You're in an academy or whatever.
Yep.
Then you may realize that agent's not good. So what happens then is the players, word of mouth, all the players are practically connected to all the agents in the same change room in Australia. So you start reaching out to the ones you want or the players you know. So then you might break the deal and go with an agent. Or if you're smart and good enough, keyword, you don't have an agent and you have multiple working for you and you
have
transact on the
leverage.
deal you want.
Yeah.
So there's different
Or-
ways people do it.
You get your brother.
Yeah, or you get fucking
Literally people...
Johnny from Oakley calling
Yeah.
NPL clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's probably 4 or 5 agents in Australia right now that matter. Max.
Fair.
I would say so. They would have 90% of the players.
What's deriving this conversation is we're aware that players of quality in the A-League are struggling to get out of the A-League. Then they make a decision, like they're probably justifying, because some players have gone out of the A-League, be like, hold on, this player's played like 15 games, maybe scored a couple goals and got to move. That's like great for the player, but that's crazy. That's a strong agent.
Yeah.
And you get some that have like near the pack of like top scorers and can't get out. And then they might make a phone call to someone else and all of a sudden they've got deals coming in. And it's like, it actually can impact like having the right person in your corner. And why we speak about it is he changed agents or got a new agent and got moves, career, and then I don't know if you've ever spoken about some of the clubs that you turned down when you're in career, the options that he had.
Can you just say them?
Yeah. Or are you trying to say this for Patreon?
Nah, it's all right.
But it's
We'll
like,
save it for another day.
But but it's like massive club, massive clubs.
I'm trying to think through the repercussions of saying.
Oh, there's repercussions?
It's Chelsea.
Just thinking.
No, there would be no repercussions.
Wasn't Chelsea.
You
I would've
didn't.
got that
You
over
didn't
the
move.
line.
It was your decision.
Well, maybe another day. Let me just think
But
about it.
either way, either
Yeah.
way. So like, and then I was put in a position with 19, 20 where it's like, hey man, this coach is a really good coach. You know him. Can you call him? You'll have a better chance. And it's like, what?
So I should just do your job here, kind of thing. Yeah.
I think there's an element of I believe it seems like there's a lot of agents that have a lot of players. So then it's just like workload of being able to pay attention to each individual player is hard. Obviously, because the money that they can earn on each deal is not that much. A lot of players,
Especially
they
here,
have
yeah.
here.
Do you reckon it has anything to do
So then you have to have a volume of players. So
gonna
it's hard
say.
to pay attention to each of them.
Do you reckon the volume of players has anything to do with clubs trusting you and they can be like, who do you have for me? Or who do you
That's
know?
what I was going to ask. Like, how much of it is based on how well has my agent networked? Because, I don't know, let's say Adelaide just seem to like this guy, and so whatever youngster they suggest, or he suggests to Adelaide,
Yeah, I don't know.
they're like, I'll bring him through, we'll give him a trial, whatever. I don't
Do you
know.
mean
Yeah,
the agent's credibility?
yeah,
basically?
that 100%. That 100% is
yeah.
like a key, can be 95% of the reason
So
a guy
maybe that's
goes to
what
a
I have
club.
a
So,
status.
you've almost, as a player, got to pick the guy that people like, or the clubs you want like.
Yeah, like their network. Well, yeah, you're picking an agent on network. Yeah.
yeah,
It's crazy at 17,
Do you know my
18
old
to try.
AIS coach told me, he goes, because everyone was starting to get tapped by agents, like 16, 17, and he goes, I'm going to tell you all now, because he never liked them.
Yeah.
And he said there's 2 types of agents. It always stuck with me. And this agents won't like this, but it's real. He goes, there's the ones that just care about their pockets, and there's the ones that care about you and their pockets. So it's like, well, ultimately, it's how they make income too,
That's
right?
hard. I like that.
Yeah. It always stuck with me.
Do you...
I thought you were going to say something else.
When you've had a shitty agent who's, I don't even want to say, I don't know what is shitty, what's not, but in situations where he's made you call them up or whatever, or not gotten you to the clubs you want to get to, whatnot, now later, years on, whatever, do you or do other players, whatever, hold resentment toward those people,
Yeah.
actively still?
I
That's
mean,
a
like,
good question.
I don't know for other people. For me, I don't like actively hold resentment. No, it's just clear that like I realize how important those decisions are. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that wild when you think about it? And that's a lot of pressure as an agent. Like, you actually are dictating the trajectory of a person's life in the most important thing to them at that time, bar family maybe for them. But like, that's fucking crazy.
I mean,
bro.
like
you actually hold their future
Which
in
I
your
didn't know.
hands
I
to
didn't
some,
think
to
like
some
that at the
extent.
time.
Like, obviously they've got to perform on the park, but like, you are essentially getting them.
But it's not even that. Like,
The big moments,
we're
you know?
talking now about like Velupillay, and we're like, yeah, is Europe? Who knows? But it's like, imagine he gets an agent that takes him to Europe, and then he's not playing regularly for 2 years, and then it's like you just kind of lose a love for the game, whatnot. You decide to, and then it's like you go, that agent could have got me to Asia and different trajectory. In my
Like
whole
for
career.
instance, Hayden Matthews and Thomas Waddingham both went to Portsmouth.
Right.
Same agent. Like
What
I
I
don't
will
even know
say
that,
is, though-
but like you would just presume, wouldn't you?
What I will say is, though, if it's all good and well to have an agent that can work wonders for you. So, like you said, you've played 10 games, you scored 2 goals, and all of a sudden you're in Europe. Huh?
Stay near the mic, sorry.
Oh, yeah, all of a sudden you're in Europe. But then if that player doesn't perform over there, then the club's looking at you like, you fucking told me they were.
Yeah,
Because we're not going off the stats, are we? Because if they've scored 2 goals in 19 games or whatever, then we're not going off the stats, are we? Because
that's why the reputation is so important.
yeah, it's like
and your ability to see talent and understand talent.
I think it's more on the side of, I fully agree. I think it's more on the side of like, once that player has gone, did their performance and their character and all that match what was told them in the first meeting by the agent?
But you can't. How can you know that?
But
No,
I
you
but
can
I'm
never
saying,
know
like-
how a player's going to react when they go into a new
I also-
I know,
environment.
but there's a trend. Like, you should see it like somewhat of a trend. Like, you need an agent. If an agent comes in and says, "Oh, he's going to be a world beater," this, and this, and you've sold the club a dream, then that player turns out to be dog shit. They might look at the agent and think like, "Fucking."
But
listen
see,
to that
I don't
cunt.
think they would miss as much as that, because I feel like now, particularly with players going to Europe, they would do their investigation. It would just be brought to more people's desks quicker.
And to see it through and actually
So there's an
dig
onus
deeper,
on the club as
bit
well.
more.
Like, I know,
bro, the hard thing
I
is
said no
this, man. The hard
timestamps,
thing is this. Like I said, you never know what
were
a
you
player's
gonna
going to do when
say?
they go to a new environment. Like, I think Australians are notorious. We've had a lot of players that do well, but we've had a lot of players that have done really well here, and they've gone to a new environment and have become a completely different player.
Yeah, that's obviously needs to be.
You know,
taken
and then you have
into
the
account.
other way. You have the other way where they're maybe not a standout here. They go overseas and they start to thrive. You know, new environment. They start to really show that actually they got the skin for it. You know, I won't say the agent's name, but they trust his ability to see talent.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That my
But then
point.
as soon as the talent proves that you
That's my point.
like, they're not that
Uh,
great, they question, is this person able to see talent?
That's my point.
They would do.
That's what
They
I'm
would-
saying. That's what
they
I'm
would
saying.
do for
Yeah.
sure. They would do.
That's Nor just articulated better. That's my point of like, they trust the agent's eye for talent, but now this kind of sent me 3 people in a row
Duds.
that are duds. I know stuff changes, the weather, the environment, the people, all that. But now I can't trust their eye for talent anymore because they've sent me 3 state 3 players.
that's why good agents focus on quality.
Well, I guess what's also kind of scary here is like, if you keep getting like, oh, this agent, whatever, cool. But it's like, if it becomes a thing of every time they send Australian boys here, they all feel out of place and whatnot and blah, blah, blah and all that. And so it's like, then they stop looking at Australia.
Yeah. Well, that's where the CV comes in. Like, if you look at that particular agent's what he's done, or he or she has done, and then you look at it and you go, all right, 80% of the time it's a big tick, and then there's 20% where it's wrong, or, you know, what's their ratio of hit to not?
I think there's a bit too much on, they got him a move to Europe. Okay, what did they do? Because,
Yeah,
Like-
I've been saying this, bro.
like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I've been saying
all
this.
right, yeah, cool, you got to move to Europe. Who the fuck cares? The A-League is better than 20, 30, 40 European leagues. So where in Europe? How did they perform? Like,
It's one of those things that always sounds shiny, but
Just
then you got to look
sounds
into the details. Yeah.
Sounds shiny. And I know that you got more eyes on you in Europe, but there's also 10 billion times more competition. So it's like, what is actually really the right thing to do? I want to try to look at who's had a really nice career progression in terms of Australian footballers.
Well, I can tell you, and we can also keep this in. By the way, you know how you said about at some point they're going to start going, oh, we're going to not look at Australians anymore. Yeah. I know for a fact that there was a player that had an opportunity to go to a club. I believe it was Korea. The president found out about it. Everything was done. The coach wanted everyone, the team manager, everyone wanted him. President found out about it and then went, nah, we're not signing Australians.
Oh, wow.
Because of an Australian that had previously been in that country.
Yeah.
It wasn't Rash. He saved them from relegation.
And it was me.
It definitely wasn't you.
Yeah.
Wow. Isn't that wild? That's crazy.
That's wild. Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, football's an interesting one because I wonder what I would do in that situation if I was a good Australian player that left the A-League. Because personally, again, this is just my low ambition. I'd go straight to the money. Why the fuck am I going to go try to prove myself in the fucking Bundesliga 3? Bro, I'm going straight to fucking Malaysia or India or something.
Really? Shit. Yeah, but don't you want to play the long game? Like you go to Malaysia, you're not going from Malaysia to the Bundesliga 3, but you could go from Bundesliga 3 to Bundesliga 2 to Japan.
And
then Malaysia,
yeah, exactly,
and then back to Australia.
The chances of that compared to just going to get a bag on your first deal in Thailand,
then where does that lead you?
That's what I'm saying. I got low ambition.
That's the thing. I think the long game, or where you go to, like when you hear guys going to League One or Championship, and it's like, it just seems so healthy to me. If you're like a young Australian, it's like you're going to go to a place where the competition is as real as it gets in Europe. But you're going to get around British culture, whatever. You're almost preparing yourself better for the Prem if it's to come at some point.
Yeah, but I just look at people like John Duran. Like,
you'd be John Duran.
I probably would be.
He was the Colombian striker that was the second striker at Villa and scoring goals off the bench.
I know who he's talking about.
And then he went to Al Nassr.
Yeah, and he's like 20.
He's 21.
So it's like, again, it's a different level.
Bro, I know Aussie players that have done that route, and I think their career could have gone better and they could have made more money if they didn't do that. But who knows? You never know. You never know.
I think my point is you're guaranteed the money then and there.
I would never object.
Are you? If you're going to freaking Thailand and Malaysia and shit, I don't know what they're like with their payments.
If I'm a player's agent and they said that to me, I would never objectify to it. I'd say, bro, it's your career.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, like...
Oh, if you're the agent...
Yeah. If you want the money, like we'll play that route.
But remember,
there's also players that, like you said, that don't go for the money to follow the dream of play the long game.
Yeah.
But also remember, in those kinds of places, I don't want to specifically speak about countries that I don't know, because actually I don't know about Thailand and Malaysia. But there's definitely countries around the world where they'll promise you a big pay packet and then pay you nothing.
Oh yeah, but that's the same in the lower European leagues though.
Jerome stranded in Thailand.
Can you imagine? I'd
rather be stranded in Thailand than fucking Poland.
But imagine, because Poland hasn't...
Fuck me.
Poland hasn't promised you 25,000 a week.
US.
Poland might have promised you
Thailand's US.
500 US a week, and you're like, all right. And so when you get zero, it's not that shocking. But when they're 25,000,
I'm telling you, boys, right now, the top leagues in Asia, they're paying you.
Oh yeah,
they're paying you.
Why are you saying top leagues and then talking about Thailand and Malaysia?
Bro, Thailand would be one of the top 10 leagues in Asia.
Top 10? That's not a top league.
Brother, you know, why am I telling you this?
3.
You know the money being made in Thailand.
Yeah. I'm just saying I don't think it's a top league.
But, okay.
Top financial league.
Yeah, like...
you mean by
top followed leagues, at least, because just population.
Well, out of Japan and South Korea...
China.
And China, which is...
India.
Yeah.
Middle East.
Yeah, I would say those 4 are above Thailand.
Then, yeah, they're of course above Thailand. But if you're like, not a lot of Aussies are going direct to big boys in
Saudi.
Yeah, like that's not happening. The Aussies are going to end up at the Malaysian, the Thai, the fucking Indian, the whatever.
Hey, if we've got some boys listening to this, or girls even, I don't know, is it, like, what are the female leagues like over there? I don't even know. I was just going to say, sorry to cut you off before. I just want to get this point out. If we've got anyone watching this that has played in those leagues, can we get some confirmation by DM on Instagram? What are they like with paying their players and sticking to their contracts?
You reckon, how much is J Mac on?
I would guess north of 1 millions. North US.
No
Did
tax?
he play in Europe? Yeah, he did. He was at Reading and shit when he was younger.
Yeah, he played in Germany and Scotland. Played for
All
Hibs.
over.
Yeah, he's played a lot of places.
I wonder if you would ask someone in his position whether he would go my low ambition route, but for the bread, or have the same.
But
path.
I'm still saying, even for the bread, it's better to play the long game.
But I reckon he got bread at City.
Oh, he was
I'm
getting
pretty
bread
sure
at
he's a
City,
marquee.
yeah.
He was the marquee.
He was getting
starter.
bread at City, but probably not the India money, right?
Yeah, I assume not because that's why he went. there.
India money.
Yeah, that's what the
Otherwise-
Yeah,
Otherwise,
it's
I
like
should
when it was
stay
like
here.
Dubai money, now it's like India money.
rupees, man. He's on a lot of rupees. He's on about
He scored
10 billion.
We should give him a
rupees.
shout out too. How do you say their team's name? Mohan
Bagang.
Yeah, he scored the winner last night, 96th minute.
They won the double, didn't they?
Yeah, in the Indian Super
Bro,
Cup.
he's loving life. What the fuck? He just won
How
a
big
double.
is the stadium for clubs like that?
It's
Because
big.
it's India. Like, it has to be at least like 100,000.
It is.
Stadium.
It is,
just
bro.
for the smallest club.
I don't think people
Bro,
understand.
1.5 billion people. Like, the worst club is going to have at least 10 million
Bro,
supporters.
if you look at their Instagram, even when I went to Malaysia to watch Chelsea, when I got to the stadium, I was like, what the fuck?
Bro.
It was huge,
Yeah,
bro.
we got to do a
put it this
football
way,
trip up
Jamie,
through Asia.
I know.
Jamie McLaren's current club has 803,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah, that's fine.
Jesus Christ, that's more than the A-League, bro.
That's every A-League club combined.
Yeah.
More, maybe.
That
it is. It's more than the... Yeah, I don't know about combined, but it's more than the A-League.
Oh, yeah, the A-League's page, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
But-
I believe...
way.
Is it more than the AFL? Let's see.
Nah, AFL's early, low 1 million.
Yeah, AFL would clock a mil. But yeah, I think I don't know.
Yeah, 1.3.
I actually have no idea what I'm speaking about.
Yeah. All right, before we go on to... I'm assuming we've got amateur agents yet
Yeah.
next. I got a little
Fucking
game, quick
hell.
game. Quick game's a good game.
I'm going
Oh,
to just
shit.
do 2 shout-outs whilst you get that game up, Rashid,
All
because I got a really nice message from someone, which I just wanted to share,
Okay.
which involves you too. This is from a Buddha, of course, Gianni Gallardo, who actually came to my Sandy debut yesterday.
I met Johnny, I think.
Yes. He goes, we were in Keysborough. My son was doing a training session with his academy. We both came down for the sandwich and to support, so it was a great day. We're from Caroline Springs. Said hi to Rashid and Jerome. Saw them from outside. They were parking at Rash. They shook my son's hand and he was over the moon. You guys have great chemistry and great energy. Can't wait to see the pod. Blah, blah, blah. So shout out to Johnny. And also shout out to James Volpato, who was the first Buddha to turn up on Thursday to Co & Co to buy the sandwich, the grout guy.
Hey, how about this, bro? I ran into him in Chadstone the next day.
James.
Damn, boy.
He comes up to me, goes, "Hey, you spoke to me yesterday on the phone."
Oh, wow. There you
Yeah,
go.
isn't
Yeah,
that
shout
wild?
out James, man. He's the first one
Like,
there.
we didn't even speak about
Thanks,
the
lads.
sandwich.
I was gonna
Love.
say,
We didn't speak about Sandy. Look, stop asking me what the Sandy result was, all right? It was a tough last few minutes. If you know, you know.
It was 0-0.
It was 0-0, but something happened right at the end of the game that could have very much...
we missed a pen.
We missed the pen.
That was it.
We missed the pen
It
in
was
the last kick
the
of the
result
game.
was fair, man. We probably got outplayed. They probably could
First
have.
half.
The man of the match was our goalkeeper. It's Sandy.
Fucking Big John.
Big John, man.
Big John, man. He needs to... Man, I can get some money. I'm going to
Straight
get him
out
some
of
money
Auckland,
somewhere.
baby.
You gotta get him a move.
Yeah, I'm
He's
going to
going
get
to
him...
be an agent.
Thailand.
He cares about his pockets only.
Listen, no shit. I've been saying
gonna
that.
get
The
you
one
out of
good
there,
thing-
John.
The one good thing about me is I'm honest about who I am. That's the difference between me and everyone else.
Yeah,
I say I'm a piece of shit.
that's true.
Whereas, you know who the biggest piece of shits are? The people that say they're not pieces of shit,
That's true.
But our piece.
but are pieces of shit.
And then usually the people that say they are pieces of shit aren't pieces of shit.
I think the hard thing is though that everyone's a piece of shit.
That's my point. I said that yesterday.
Really?
Everyone's a piece of shit. It's just how much shit do you have?
You're a piece of shit. Everyone.
Yes, everyone is a piece of shit. We're humans.
Selfish.
Freaking prick.
I could really sidetrack us right now, but
So
I don't think that's necessary. Okay, you give me eyes that I can. He told us last week that he shits with a footrest.
Yeah.
And takes his phone in and just parks himself there for a severe amount of time.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, wait, hold up. Jake's misunderstood the footrest.
Hold on, bro.
You think he stretches his legs out?
What is it? He puts
It's
his...
to increase...
It's like this, bro.
Oh, bro. I thought he was saying that.
This
But
is how- No.
like that, bro. Like you're on first class in Emirates, bro.
It ain't a recliner,
You do it...
Ottoman.
Wait, so you do it for performance?
100%. I don't want to put my legs
For
up.
power.
Jake, it's a little blue stool.
Power is crazy.
It's like that.
I just can't get that image out of my head.
my
That's bad.
God.
It's a
man.
thing. It's a thing.
We need a cartoon picture of Jerome doing shits, man.
We need the
I'm not the
cartoon
one you
and-
need to be worried about. Gavin has been taking shits.
Gavin took it way too far.
Gavin's been taking shits his whole life.
No, well,
No, listen to this.
It's weirder than that.
I thought this segment opened up last week, and I'm like, Jerome's taking it too far, and then Gavin started speaking, and I'm like, I had to apologise to everyone listening that I opened up the
Yeah,
conversation.
if you take it there, I'm going to take it further.
Yeah, what did he say?
Gavin said that his new shitting technique is to lift up the first lid and also the second one and sit on the rim.
Yes,
Why?
sit on
He
the.
said it
Literally
spreads
why?
his cheeks more.
He's-
So all you guys stop looking at me weird because the guy that sits in that chair over there,
Bro, he sits with no seat and he wipes his ass with Pino Clean. Tell me it's backward shitting.
is that what they do in Argentina or is this a thing?
Bro, that's what they... I don't even want to say where they do those types of things. It's not Argentina.
Dubai?
Nah.
No, I know what he's saying.
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry.
Nah, it's not worth it.
Oh yeah, okay. But
You may as well say it.
I just think the hardness and the thinness of that outer rim,
Nah, it's not nice.
it's not
Bro,
nice.
You know what's also
he is... You're talking about, not following trends?
Pino
Gavin
Clean
is the most random bloke in the world.
doesn't even show.
Why would
Yeah.
you? That's
He
so
does not
uncomfortable.
follow
It's
any-
like cold.
any normal
It's not
standards.
hygienic.
It's not hygienic at all.
Disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. It's deplorable.
Hey guys, relax. He's not here to defend himself.
He said it.
True.
All right. Let's do this game quickly before we go into
do we
amateur
need
agents.
whiteboards?
Just whiteboards, yeah.
Jerome, is there two there?
This is going to check your ball knowledge, and then there's going
Follow
to be an
Bruton
interesting...
about, guys.
Yeah. So then there's going to be an interesting...
Rashid, do you need one or
result
no?
at the end. No,
Should we
because
give
I know the
Norbotich
answers.
one?
He's seen it. He's seen the video.
What do
So
you-
this,
what-
so this
Oh, so
little
it's just
game
us
is
two.
based on a video that I saw the other day of Gary Neville talking about which players get the most passes on average in the league, or have the most passes total in the league of English Premier League.
Are we going to go
This is
individuals
not
here?
the
Have a different one.
Yeah, I saw
Okay.
a different thing where he was complaining about the way football's played nowadays.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Shut up.
Sort of. So, in Gary Neville's last 5 years of playing football, so they're going to be two top fives here. In Gary Neville's last 5 years of playing football, which players were the top 5 players with the most passes in the league
In his last
in
5
his
years.
last 5 years?
Do we have to go individuals?
Yep.
But what years were they?
Well, that's part of your ball knowledge, is knowing what players were playing at that time.
Yeah, I can that. But what years? When was his last 5 years of playing?
20.
Like we're guessing that. Yeah. Can you tell us that?
I can't tell you.
It's like 20. We just Google when he retired, and we'll work 5 back.
10 to.
I was like 2012. He retired. 20.
Yeah, so
just
let's go 07.
I don't think he had Moyes, so it would have been just after Champions League win 08. I reckon he played 2010. Jerome. Yeah.
I reckon he played 2010.
Yeah, I reckon you're right. So it would be 05 to 2010.
What is it, Nor?
You're pretty spot on. He retired Feb 2011.
Okay.
Okay, so we
So-
so let's go 2006.
2006. So in like actual players.
Yeah, top 5 players with the most passes in the league in the English Premier League through that 5-year period.
Oh, this is going to be hard to do fucking top, but like that. So 06 to 12. So
For the record, and for the listeners at home, I'm also not doing this game because there's no way I would have got it. But I reckon these two probably will, especially Jake. If I was a betting man, I'd bet on Jake here.
No.
Oh, I don't know whose place is where. That's the only thing.
You've swayed me because the fact that he's asked this question or brought it up makes me think it's fullbacks, because fullbacks are always the out ball, and you wouldn't think that they would get on the ball as much, but they're always on the ball. So for him to pipe himself up here, that's what's thrown me.
Sorry, the second one is last year, and this year, because he actually does both. But you guys take your pick, whether last year or this year.
Oh, okay.
Let's just go last year. Yeah. Let's just go last year. All right. You want to listen to the clip?
Just guess these.
You want to listen to the clip?
Show what we're putting
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yep.
Jake, you go.
Show us yours.
All right, so 06 to 2011, I've gone Fabregas, Carrick, David Silva, Steven Gerrard, and Modric, I think was
Wow. Yeah, that's an interesting list.
And then for the last year, I've gone Kyle Walker, Cucurella, McGinn, Stones, and Trippier.
Again, I don't know anything. I went Gerrard, Carrick, Lampard, Gareth Barry, and Cesc.
Nice.
Then this year I went Verge or last... Wait, what am I doing? This year or last year?
last year.
See, I don't even know if he was injured or not, but Verge, Diaz, Rice, Trent, and I don't know why I just said Bruno Guimaraes.
Okay.
Trent.
So I'll play this video. I'll play it into the mic so everyone at home can hear it as well.
I don't know why I said Bruno G, but
It's
whatever.
such a good clip.
He's a good player.
We don't come to football to watch Brighton centre-back play, do we? We just don't. We're seeing so much of defenders being on the ball. And I thought, you know something? I'm watching constantly goalkeepers and defenders on the ball. Constantly. So I went back to the last 5 years of my career. First, I've not been on Monday Night Football for a few years, but I actually wanted to go on Monday Night Football on Monday night. My last 5 years at United, the 5 players who had the most passes in the league in 2006-07 were Fabregas, Scholes, Alonso, Gilberto Silva and Lampard. Mainly midfield players, holding midfield players that you dictated in the game. They're the players who had the most possession in the ball in my last 5 years in my career. They're players I want to see on the ball, just most generally. Some of them maybe not, but most of them. In the last 5 years in the Premier League, well, last year, Virgil van Dijk, Joseph Guardiola, Levi Colwill, William Saliba, so 4 defenders in the top 5 have got the ball.
I was going to say Saliba.
The year before was Rodri, Lewis Dunk, Virgil van Dijk, William Saliba. The year before that, Lewis Dunk. We don't come to football to watch Brighton centre-back play, do we? We just don't. But you've got a complete shift. So you can either say the game's evolving, which it has.
Verge, you got Verge, number 1.
Yeah,
I went fullbacks.
Yeah, Verge would have been.
I went
up there.
fullbacks.
But I should have known with Brighton that they, especially with De Zerbi and all that.
Yeah, I was going to do another hint for you.
They refused, and Colwill I should have known because we play at the back so much.
Yeah,
that was fucking stupid.
Isn't that a wild video? Is that the one that you saw?
No, I saw the one where he was talking about like every club's trying to emulate Manchester City's style of like, or Pep's style really of like just pass. And he's like, this is just ruining football.
Yeah, that's a wild stat, man. When you think of it, talking about going back to that thing of being a neutral and watching games of football, I would agree, man. Like I go to games, if I'm going to watch a game of football, it's to watch midfielders get the ball or strikers and wingers do certain things. But like if I'm talking about frequency of touching the ball, I want like the most technically gifted players in the team to be touching the ball
all the time.
Well, bro, centre-backs are taking goal kicks these days.
Yeah. I know it's like
so the keeper can fucking spread.
Pause. I know it's like beating a dead horse, but yeah, if football was more enjoyable. I want to give you guys a little bit of homework. Go on YouTube and watch like a game from 2006 or 7 and see if you can tell the difference. Because I did it a couple of months ago. I was like, what the fuck?
I watched a highlight clip of, like, obviously he's an outlier, but Ronaldinho and just like, but at AC Milan, so end of the quality kind of thing.
Fat.
And it was just like, damn, like you were just having fun all the time during this. No one does this really.
Oh, fuck. I forgot to actually... Sorry, this is another piece of information, but I hope this doesn't take us in another direction. Did you guys see what happened with... what's his name that's in Brazil?
Memphis.
Did you see what happened?
Standing on the ball.
Yeah, and how... Did you guys talk about this? That Brazil have brought in a rule that you're not allowed to stand on the ball now?
Really?
Because of that, because it incited a fight.
It's disrespectful. Yeah.
You hear about that? It's crazy.
Wow.
Saw that, yeah.
Did you hear what happened with Dimitri Payet?
No, what?
Yes.
What, he's fat?
Pause. I can't say on
It's not
this
worth
pod.
it. Yeah.
No, what time are we at?
Yeah, we're in a
2:30.
little...
Okay, I can't even want to do amateur
Hey,
agents.
by the way, well, before we got here, Jerome wrote in the group, Buddhas,
Fuck!
I am going to stick to 2 hours today.
It's time for Amateur Agents. I'm not even singing it.
Amateur
Fitness is
Agents.
Hey, it's getting warmer now, huh? Or am I just getting stressed?
If Canberra United can't get a men's team, where do you think the next club should be based?
There needs to be another team in Queensland.
Yep, that's the answer. Shout out to my little cousin who cut my hair. Jarogba, I still have the video of you ranking the top 10 Aussie songs ever made. Throwback and a half. Top tier list, by the way. Thanks, bro. As a lifelong City fan, Arzani was and still is overrated. How is he getting Socceroos games over Tilio is beyond me. Tilio miles better. What do you reckon, Jake?
Statement or question?
It's a statement.
Yeah, I don't know. Right now, Tilio's playing better, but Arzani's still kind of balling a little bit. Like he set up key goals on the weekend.
I'm 15. I feel like I'm too good for my team in NPL 3. I feel like I could go play State 5 to 3.
Sorry, can you
At 15?
repeat the question?
I'll tell you straight out, bro. If you're 15 and you're killing NPL 3, don't go play State 5.
Yeah, that's not right.
Go try play NPL 1.
Yeah.
Or maybe play a year up or something. But
Yeah.
do not go play State 4 or 5.
Agreed.
That would be the silliest thing to do. Which teams in the State League gets the best crowds? Again, we can't really talk about other regions, but for down here,
By the end of the season, it'll be Sandringham,
Sandy got a great crowd on the weekend, to be fair.
and it's building
Is
each
it?
week.
Yeah, great crowd. Great crowd.
Got some big things coming.
Oh, yeah.
Pause.
I actually don't know, man. I don't go to enough. I sort of go to like the same grounds a little bit, so it's hard to gauge like who really does have the best crowds.
Was the State 1 crowd you went to, was that like popping?
It was okay, but it was a big gala day, so it's you can't really
We couldn't
you
gauge
can't
it.
really. Here's one for Gav. We'll answer it anyway, bro. I'm super frustrated because our coach seems to have zero standards about training. A player missed the entire preseason, came to the last session before round 1, and he's in the squad. We also have a player that never trains, but because he's way above our level, he starts every week.
We talked about this 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to tell you, bro.
They're allowed to play.
Yeah. Like, if he's way above everyone in the team, you want him to play.
Yeah, but see what happens, the residual effects of that decision.
It is. It is.
The whole
And
team.
that happens all the way through up until senior level
Literally.
as well. Someone doesn't turn up and they're starting ahead of someone that's turned up, it bothers the person.
Coach, I don't like how Messi keeps taking days off.
Yeah.
You can't.
No, but I agree, bro. What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Okay, is that player good enough that they can win by themselves? That's the question. No. There's not one player in the world, not even Messi, that can win by himself.
Yeah.
But I
your
think
chances
at-
of winning are 80% higher if the best player... He said this player is miles above anyone at the team.
Yeah, but bro, if you're losing the whole respect of the dressing room, then no one else is going to play well. Or no one else is going to really feel like being in that squad.
Do you reckon it's the whole team or just a
willing
position?
to die for you? Oh,
It's
I don't know. I'd be losing respect
Surely.
for the coach if he was doing that.
So wait, did he say the kid's there though? He just turned up late to preseason.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
well, that's
another
just-
one never trains, but he's way above our level and starts every week.
Yeah, that at 15 and below, that sucks.
Yeah.
You should.
I don't know
This
how...
is 15s.
He doesn't say how old...
Feels rude.
Doesn't say how old he is.
As a
if it's
coach,
senior,
you should be.
if it's senior football, then
Because
Doesn't
now
s-
you're not even coaching good behavior.
Yeah, you should be instilling character
Yeah.
development as well. Which,
I've been at the same club for
Fuck's sake.
ages, like 10 years. I'm thinking it might be time for a change after this season. Any tips on how to find the team that's right for you?
see who's paying the most, bro.
Okay.
what age bracket?
That's what Jerome's answer would
What
be.
age bracket? Did they say age bracket?
I'm joking.
Nah, I would say the best way to ease into a new club, especially after being somewhere for 10 years, is to go to somewhere that your mates are at or you know a few people there, so it's not just like a cold intro to like a whole fucking squad of people. Most people like knowing people in the teams. It helps the transition. So
I'd agree with that. I think it's a great
I
answer,
would
Jerome.
say.
I think it's very hard to go into a team where you don't actually have a mate.
Putrid. Bro, the first time I joined soccer, my mum was like, "I'll just sign you up for just the local team," and I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
First
it's
training,
really
I'm
hard.
like, "I hate all you guys."
All right, guys. Boys, everyone, ball between two.
Yeah,
And then
partner
you're like,
up. Oh,
Fuck.
do you have someone?
then
And
you
he's
sit
got like
with
one
the guy
leg.
no one-
All right, take that.
That's fine.
Nah. All right,
But
whatever.
like you've never not gone to a team and not made friends.
I know, but it's not easy. it's difficult at the start. But I think it's easier for you because you're
You
a
can
very
hit the
social
ground running,
person.
Jakey, you know?
You can make friends very quickly. I don't think everyone's like that.
Yeah,
I'm not like
asshole.
Better than everyone.
Yeah, you're better than everyone. How big is it a jump from state 5 to state 2 or 3? It's huge, and I'll tell you why. State 2 and 3, somehow, definitely not money, entices players that are good enough to play VPL 3 state 1.
It's lifestyle.
I see it every week.
It's lifestyle.
Yeah, it's lifestyle. I see it every week. So you are going to come up against players that have played for Tunisia, that have played in Liga against Ronaldinho.
Afghanistan.
Yeah, for Afghanistan internationals like current. AIS kids, Victorian all-time top goal scorers. So, like, you're going to play against State 5, you're going to just get a bunch of, whatever.
Friends. Play
Yeah,
together.
but State 2 or 3, the jump, like, seriously, to answer your question, it's huge because a lot of players that should be playing higher play there because it's less effort and more money. So the jump is huge, bro. It's huge. Technically as well, it's fucking huge. Which players are good to watch in the A-League to learn from?
Well, that's a good new question. Jake
Depends
can
on
probably answer that. He watches
position,
the
though. No
most.
position, it's like,
All right, go
just
centre
choose one
midfielder.
each.
Centre midfielder.
young player to learn from.
I could say Ryan Teague.
Ryan
Wow.
Teague.
Hey, what about defender, centre-back?
Centre back, would watch the City centre backs, Ferreira and Supriyan.
Nice. And an attacker?
Like a 9.
Eli Adams.
Like a 9 or a winger.
Yeah, whatever. I'll go Eli Adams.
Yeah,
though.
winger, Eli Adams, great feet. Striker, honestly, probably watch Adam Taggart. Like,
that's a good answer.
Just like he's fundamentally a
Yeah.
perfect striker.
Yeah.
His movements and stuff.
Yep. I'm currently 26. I don't play at a very high level, but I'm constantly trying to improve my game, always doing more than most people in my team, doing individual sessions and things. I'd like to play state 2 or 3 one day. Is that too realistic or am I too old? Nah, bro. Fuck. Nah, you're not too old. You can definitely play state 2 or 3 if you keep training that well. You 100%. Seriously. That's all I have to say on that. You're 26. You're not 49. Can I get added to the Chelsea WhatsApp? Bro, it's an Instagram group. So just message me. Rash, any tips to win more challenges as a DM?
Oh, bro, you know
Great
what?
question.
Yeah, I've got a really
Great
I've got a good
question.
answer for this because I was watching Sandringham the other day and I was thinking, why do all the players, not all, but sorry, a large majority of the players in the lower leagues think that they need to wind up their tackles? You do not need to wind up a tackle. Just put your foot in. Like, don't try to kick through the ball. Just put your foot in and use it like a wall to, like, block things, as opposed to every player seems to think it's, like, really cool
Is it an
to
ego
smash
thing?
people
Yeah.
and to, like, wind up, but you're so slow. And by the time you do that, the ball's gone. And that's why you foul. There's so many fouls.
Great point. Great point. I'm on the cusp of seniors at State 1, but shit resis and can't win a game. Do I leave to play State 3 seniors or do I wait for my time? Yeah, leave. Leave, bro.
Depends if you think you're going to play.
Leave.
If you don't think you're going to play.
If you
then
have a
go.
shit resis, then they're probably not going to look at the resis to be like, oh, who can we take up? And my brother made a great point the other day. Shout out my brother Max Gabana Ghoul. He said that resis don't mean shit anymore in State League. And I said, you know what? That's actually a good point.
Resis don't mean shit anywhere.
I disagree with that, but I mean in State League,
Where do they mean shit?
resis don't mean
I'm
shit.
not necessarily agreeing with you, but I'm just trying to think where would you say the cutoff is?
Every big club in the world brings up players from their youth system.
Bro, Gavin was in the biggest club in the world for producing footballers.
Yeah.
River Plate.
Yeah.
Reserves.
Yeah.
Came here, no one gave a fuck.
But he also said didn't 6 of the players get called up to the first team?
Oh, you're saying from
Good
the...
argument.
Are you saying from the actual club thinking, oh, we're going to look there to bring players
Yeah.
in? Oh, sorry. I thought you meant
Yeah.
just like in terms of your career trajectory and stuff.
No. I mean like
Like other clubs looking at you and be like, oh, they're a good
no,
player.
they've got a mad resis player.
Yeah, right.
No, like they do that in academies because if you look at someone like Amari Hutchinson, who was with us and then Ipswich were like, hold on.
Ballin', man.
Yeah, like, we'll take him.
Ballin'.
And there's been a few. Jaden Sancho as well. Was at Chelsea, I believe, and then Man City took him. But in terms of State League, I think my brother's thing is right. How often, unless it's an absolute emergency, because a lot of the State League teams now have massive squads for their seniors and won't necessarily look to their resis. If they're bringing in resis, it's out of desperation or an injury. It's not like, oh, he's been performing well, we're going to give him a shot. I think that's go play State 3 or 2, man. And then if you do good, try again at a different State League club. Don't leave just yet, though. It's like 3 games in. I said the other day that people leave.
Didn't you say it's like the similar thing in the corporate world? For you to progress, you have to leave companies, change companies?
To get like a significant pay lift. Yeah.
The best way to get a pay rise is to get a new job.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have usually played as an 8, but my new coach wants to use me as a lone 6. I've only ever played in a double pivot. What are your biggest tips from someone changing from an 8 to a lone 6?
The fuck's a double pivot?
Come on, bro. Double pivot.
So 2 6s.
Yeah.
I think the single
Why
6
do they
is the
call it
best
pivot?
role ever.
I don't know, because I go... Toot, toot.
Oh, okay.
I think the 6 is much more...
Lone.
Yeah, it's so much more simple than double pivot, bro.
So what would your tips be for playing a lone 6?
Oh, fuck. So many. Try to just manage the middle corridor. Like a triangle.
Like a triangle, okay.
Yeah. Always be beneath the ball. So as opposed to, all right, so it's hard to explain, but if their left winger is taking the ball there,
Yeah.
don't be now
In front of him.
above
Yeah.
the ball or even in line with the ball, be below, so it can't
That's a
go
good one.
behind you and in between.
Would a simple one be to play not risk-free?
What?
Like a
Risk
wording.
averse.
Yeah, like play risk-averse, basically.
Well, I think being risk averse as a 6 is always being side on and knowing your next pass.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I meant to say.
But I think one of the hardest things as a 6 is getting the ball, particularly when a striker is not pressing, is getting the ball off the centre backs.
Yeah.
Because everyone in the field's behind you or on you. So trying to find that time and space, you kind of really need to anticipate your next move well before the ball gets to you to be a good 6.
Yeah. I think and the beauty of being a lone 6 is you don't have to influence the attacks. Like, just get the ball and give it to them. It's someone else. Just get the ball, give it to your 8, give it to your 10. Let them do the magic. I think that's the beauty of that's why if I was a coach, I would play with a lone 6 because then it's very simple for the 6 to know, all right, you don't have to try risky passes, just keep it.
Yeah. And then be a ball winner too.
And just win balls and give it off, yeah.
Got a few more here. What's your go-to celebration? I scored once and gestured having a walk and coming. Think Mr. Chow from Hangover. To the opposition goalkeeper and got a yellow.
Yeah, that'd get you a yellow, man.
Yeah, it probably would, but I think that's pretty
and a court
funny.
case.
You guys...
Suited and booted Sally, bro.
Yeah, suited and booted Sally. Rash was never a Sally guy, I don't think.
Never
Yeah, he
scored,
did, bro.
What do you
He
mean?
did the strength and conditioning coach.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
He fucking took it to a new level.
Hey, we need some more submissions. If you're scoring goals, do the suited and booted celebration and DM it to Boot and About. We will repost.
Rate how
Yeah.
good your suited and booted
We will
Sally is.
repost.
Yeah, send it to Boot and About. What was yours when you were younger?
I don't know. I never
Just
really.
come on.
Yeah, I never really had one.
Like that, bro.
Yeah.
Like the old
Jumping up and down.
the 70s.
I scored for Adelaide.
I don't know if I've had one.
Mine was I didn't celebrate. That was my aura.
Oh,
Yeah.
big Balotelli energy.
Yeah, just like
huh?
run back to the middle and everyone's like all
Or
over me.
Cantona when he just turns around after that volley.
That's so not you though.
Hey.
You're a bit of a fucking flip the bird.
I'm a
and
Hey,
Top
was Bresciano the original for that?
What, not celebrating?
That.
Oh,
reckon
the
that's
look.
Nah,
such a
Cantona.
good. Was that before? Oh, it was. Yeah, he's.
I'm gonna
before
keep
him.
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, bro. The aura that Cantona had compared to Bresh. Like when Bresh did it, it was almost like, what are you doing, bro? Celebrate.
I didn't think that.
Oh,
It's
that's
like,
what
a World Cup qualifier. Like, Cantona chipped the keeper. I
think it
it's
was
like
mad.
literally the goal
That's
that
what I
almost
thought,
sent us to the World Cup. It's like run to the corner flag and celebrate with 100,000 people.
Yeah, fucking kick someone.
Like, just please. Act
I
Yeah.
loved it.
It was an
So
L moment.
funny.
It was an L moment.
Hit someone in the face.
Um,
Go hit someone, man.
well, that's what Cantona did.
Like Johnny Aloisi did it right, bro.
John Eloise.
Yeah, can you imagine he just turned around? And
Just stood there, like,
mad.
nah, he ran the. It's famous.
What's the weirdest international move you've seen? Transfer.
Oscar to China.
That was weird. I loved him. I got his name on a jersey and everything. That was fucking weird.
It's not that weird because the money's so good. But damn, the one that was gambling. What's his name? Premier League.
Tonali.
Oh,
No, with a T. Also,
yeah,
but
from England.
Oh my goodness,
T.
Gambling.
26 years old. Got a whole ban.
From Villa.
Not Villa.
No,
it was
West Ham.
White and now
What the hell
West
are
Ham?
you
Are
doing?
you having a fit?
no, white and
What?
red stripes.
Southampton.
No.
Sunderland.
What is going on? No, it's not Sunderland.
White and red stripes.
He got done for gambling, bro.
Oh my days.
Oh, Ivan Tony.
Ivan
Tony.
Brentford.
That's it. Brentford.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's a Saudi, yeah.
Went to Saudi.
That was just like it just felt like you're not playing the long game.
Yep.
Bex to Galaxy. Telpiero to Sydney.
Del Piero to Sydney was pretty weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those always make sense when it's the end of your career. You know what I mean? Or clearly then. But
Yeah, I'm
when
trying to
when
think
you're
of
in
like
your
a-
prime, like 26, 24.
Real strange.
Yeah, Oscar's a good answer.
Yeah, it is.
I remember thinking that's weird at the time.
Yeah, Shanghai.
Let's have a look. Weirdest international
Who Muskie coached, by the way.
transfers.
Coached him. Was he at
Jesse
China with
Lingard
him?
to Seoul is pretty weird.
Hey?
Yeah, that's a weird.
Yeah.
Jesse Lingard to
And
Seoul.
loving it and like not leaving.
Yeah,
No,
like
but
doing
see-
ads like, hello.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
one
Could've
makes
been you.
a bit of sense because he had fallen out of love with
Was-
the
is-
game and out of
is
favor
that a-
with coaches.
Was that a big club, Rashid?
Seoul.
Was that the biggest?
At the time, it wasn't. I mean, it's a big club, but they weren't doing that well.
But like it's big in stature and like size and fan base.
Oh, I don't know statistically. I would say
would be-
more aura, like as in aura. Nah, like Ulsan, Jeonbuk,
So they're like a bit of an underdog. Or like a mid-table.
maybe like 4th or 5th.
Wow.
But I don't know what the actual fan base is. Like it's in Seoul, so obviously that's a big draw card. But
I'm just going to read through some. Gattuso to Rangers. Janino to Middlesbrough. JJ Okocha to Bolton.
Yes.
Julian Faber to Real Madrid.
Yes.
Joey Barton to Marseille. That was weird. Fuck
That
Joey
was
Barton.
Tommy Gravison.
Tommy Gravison, yeah. Bojan Krikic to Stoke. That was weird.
Fuck. Good, Jerome.
Esteban Cambiaso to Leicester. Weird. Nicholas Bentner to Juventus. Nope. He's the original Lord. Shout out Nicholas Bentner. Who else do we have? Ali Dia to Southampton. Yeah. Eric Choupo-Maxim.
Do you know Ali Deer never played football?
Yeah, I think that's why they've got him here. He
True
only made
sto-
one appearance.
Yeah.
what do you mean he never played football?
There's a story about Ali Deer that Southampton got word from an agent that George Weah, who was a former Ballon d'Or winner, his cousin Ali Deer was like a top striker
made about
from
agents.
Senegal and played somewhere. And they signed him on that. And he played 20 minutes. And they realized this guy couldn't play football. And they brought him off. And he never played again. But it was just a student. He was just a student from Africa with a phone.
Souness as well. That was convinced.
Yeah, fucking
Souness.
Souness.
To be playing non-league football, then signing for a top team in England just takes some doing.
That's sick, man.
Yep. Few more. Christian Eriksen to Brentford. That was sort of random, but I get it.
Martin Braithwaite to Barcelona.
That was fucking weird. But that was also because Barca was extremely desperate.
Piss poor Barcelona.
Wait, speaking on, do you remember that, is it Jeremy Mathieu, the centre back? The French centre back who was there for the
He
treble?
works at a fucking shop now.
Like Indirect Sports or something?
yeah.
He's like, won the treble with Barca 10 years ago. Now he works at a sports retail store.
Yeah.
Someone noticed him, took a photo, he's gone viral
Maybe he enjoys retail.
in Marseille.
Jack Wilshere to Aarhus.
To what?
Art house.
Yeah, the Dutch, not Dutch, Danish.
I don't even remember that happening.
Yeah, they've got Braithwaite to Barca here. Bebe to Manchester United.
Fucking hell. Eric Jemba.
Oh, this might be one of the weirdest ones. Edgar Davids to Barnett. How do you,
what? I don't even remember that
I didn't
happening.
even know
What the
this happened.
fuck,
Yeah.
didn't yous?
How do I not find out?
No, it's
Did
not that
he end up
crazy. I don't
coaching
know
him?
why I said that.
Did he coach him or something? I feel like, is that...
Bro,
Like he ends up player coach in anything.
Hortensio Morales to Adelaide.
bro, Barnett were League 2, I think, weren't they?
I reckon Neymar's move to PSG was strange.
Not
not
really.
It's just that PSG's a big club, so we don't look at it that way. But I know what you mean.
Well, it was just like it was a non-compete, bro. Like, you know, it didn't change the level of the opposition.
Yeah,
Few more. Fuck it.
this is fun.
Not a question, but surely you boys come out to some Northwest games for all your Westie fans. We'll try, bro. It's a fucking long drive, but we'll try get out there if there's a good one. I play in a Metro 3 team. Coach plays top grade in the club and brings in the boys from his team to play for us. They play 90 minutes.
Oh, shit.
And some of us only play 20. Had an argument with him about it, how it's unfair. He told me to fuck off and don't come back. I'm going to be, again, I have to be honest with you guys. And I'll speak because these boys never played or will ever play Metro in their life. When I was playing Metro, every week, some players couldn't play, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I used to beg the coach to bring in resis and randoms to play for us so we could win. I didn't give a fuck about anyone else's feelings. I don't even care if I played half a match. The less minutes I played, the better. If we could win comfortably and I didn't have to try that hard, I was like, bro, bring in this guy, bring in this resis player, bring in this guy, bring in that guy. That's me personally because I'm just not all there. But for people that actually have paid their rego and want to play, I get that it's unfair.
This is Jerome's version of like, I'd rather not play much. That's his version of going straight to Saudi.
I just like, if the coach said you're starting on the bench, I'm like, yes, less pressure.
I would love to just see what would happen if we were in a genuine team together over the course of a season.
I'd hate you.
Like, what the fuck if I heard he was going to the coach?
I'd hate you.
And
I don't want to
bring in players
I'd hate playing.
that weren't even training to play on the weekend.
At the end of the
Like,
day,
what the
it's
fuck,
Metro
bro?
8. Like, they're surely...
Nah, I could understand.
You know, there's
that.
no
Wasn't your
rules.
coach
this
the
guy
ref?
have not a valid argument?
He does, but I'm just saying me personally.
This is how it works.
Yeah, like, the right thing to do is to be like, what the hell? This is our team. Like, we train every week, and then you're bringing in superstars to play in 90 minutes, and we've paid our rego and we're paying 20 minutes. Yeah. But at least...
Here's my shirt. Here's the shorts.
Yeah.
You're right. You have them.
I mean, at least the end of the season trip would be mad because you'll win the league.
Yeah.
Can I marry you, Jerome? 18 male, Western Sydney.
So he's Arab.
What the fuck?
Alrighty. Rash, boys, I'm in my mid-30s playing in Newcastle. It's like lower MPL for you guys, I guess. I'm still fit and I love the game. My touch and legs are a bit off. Too young to give it away. Any advice to get going again? I want to play as long as I can. Love the potty. Lads, up the Jets, Gav. A certain influencer that we all follow, I don't know if we follow him or not, a local mindset coach of sorts. He said something pretty good the other day, actually. I'm talking about this guy.
Oh,
I think I know
who it is. I know who it is.
Yeah, you know who it is?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think a lot of people bring up the whole thing of, I'm 30, bro. My legs are fucked. My back's fucked. I can't move. I think that's just because we all let ourselves go. That's the only reason. Because there's a 50-year-old playing in the Japanese second division. So the best thing to do is to really take warm up and warm down seriously and use your extra time to strengthen your... Am I wrong?
Bro, the reason I find it so funny is because literally yesterday Jake was saying warm-ups don't matter. sorry.
Warm downs kind of do when you're older. Warm up, no. I was saying it. Warm ups
in a
do
different
matter.
context.
I was saying it is in like if you have a good warm up as a team, it doesn't mean your first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I heard you.
Yeah, we're laughing about
Warm-ups don't equal a good warm-up doesn't equal a
But
win
like if you
first
don't warm up properly at 30, you might pull something. So,
Yeah. So I think spend your extra time in strengthening the weak areas of your body. This is crazy coming from me.
I was just thinking that.
Why are you taking this?
I was just thinking that.
This is my favourite part of this segment is when Jerome takes ownership as if he's...
Oh, feel free to tell me that I'm wrong.
No, keep going.
Yep,
going.
all right. That would be my... and then touch, find a wall, find a ball.
Touch, find a wall, find a ball. Yeah.
Find a wall, find a ball.
I agree with you though. Like 30's not that old, bro. There's plenty of 30-year-olds playing a lot of football. You just obviously got to take care of yourself. Which, again, coming from me, I'm not playing. I'm 32. But if you want to play, you definitely 100% can do it. If you just
it doesn't matter
healthy,
what level.
Yeah.
If you're playing, you're
Eat
playing,
healthy,
bro. Like you
sleep
have to
properly. Do strength work, all that stuff.
Hurry up and get Patreon. I'll be the first to pay. Fuck yeah, bro. I think should the A-League reintroduce the Youth League so the 10 players who haven't played a minute this year for each team can be up to speed in the first team rather than not have a meaningful touch of the football for months?
How do they fund it?
Oh shit, that was fucking.
Well, that's why they got rid of it.
If you got the answer, then it would be there.
Yeah.
Is Carl Viet the most sweariest manager?
I reckon Zadkovic's got to be up there.
Oh yeah, well we've heard it.
Yeah.
Doesn't Steve Corica like a bit of a wah, 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 wah?
Yeah, that's a good one. Not sure.
It definitely isn't the victory.
I mean, I'm not in the coach's place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not Arthur Dillers.
What are you trying to say?
What the hell is this?
How about Gattuso?
My girlfriend knows the girl who said Jerome was too tall for her. Apparently now that you're doing well with the pod, she's reconsidering.
No, you're capping.
Don't do it, bro.
You're capping.
I feel like this is someone fucking with me.
Yeah.
If it isn't, tell her to DM me.
Yeah.
Oh, you go back there, yeah?
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah, I'll just get shin surgery. Be like, look, I'm 5'6", like you wanted. Which member of Suited and Booted would make the best coach or manager? Rash. Would he?
Hey,
Yeah, he would. He wears suits.
there's a girls
No.
under what team was it? It was a seniors
No, I don't want
NPL
to.
like 3 or something. They want Jerome to coach.
No.
How would you go? I've asked you this before.
Yeah, no, yeah.
More imports.
He goes, the club social media for like state 3 management. He's just giving short answers. Like doesn't want to give anything away. I don't want to be.
Should Sydney FC
Just
try
bringing
to...
in players from other teams on Thursday night.
Gotta do what you
you're
gotta
playing
do to
this
win.
weekend.
Should Sydney FC try and push for a Rizz legacy round? Yes! Absolutely.
What does that mean?
You know Rizz?
Zizbra.
Rizz, bruh? Yeah, apparently he was a Sydney FC supporter.
Oh,
so
wow.
definitely should do that.
Why not?
Who's winning, John Cena or Cody Rhodes? Cody Rhodes is. Last one.
Crazy that they're trying to predict the script.
Yeah. You know you can bet on it.
Literally.
You can bet on it.
Like
That makes zero
you bet on something that's already been decided.
What the
Well,
heck?
but I mean, like you still don't know. But
Still
like, it's
don't
just
know.
crazy.
Well, it's like when people...
Yeah, like I guess,
but
I
at
bet
least
they've
like
decided that.
at least when you bet on something else, you know for a fact that no one else knows.
Unless you're Sandra Tonali.
Unless you're...
Don't do it.
Okay. To be fair, bro, I was thinking a mad Patreon pod would be to catch up with those boys.
Sorry, I got a weird message and I got sidetracked. Who are you talking about?
A certain club and players that were involved in a certain scandal
Stars.
in the A-League.
Yeah.
Imagine doing a pod saying...
The
like-
A-League.
Yeah, bro. Okay,
why are
everyone
you
knows
saying
it's
A?
MacArthur, guys.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know why it's public
No,
news.
because what the question was, it's
You
like
said
who's winning in this WWE match, and he said, I think it's this guy. And then I'm like, they're predicting like the script, and then Noah's like, you can bet on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
And then I said that, or at least with like soccer, for example, if you bet on it, you don't know the result.
Yeah.
You know no one else knows. Then he goes, well,
Yeah.
Depends who you're playing for.
sorry for the booters that had to re-listen to that.
All right, we're back. And Nor said he's only eaten a tomato today.
How the fuck does that
What do you mean
happen,
eating a
bro?
tomato?
Like,
And
what, you
why-
woke up
why-
and just
what-
went...
No, so I'll explain. So woke up, I flew in early this morning, went to church, came back, needed something to eat quickly. I'm doing Lent at the moment, so I'm pretty much vegan. and there's nothing at home. So I just cut up a tomato and put in some Arabic bread, threw some za'atar on it.
That's a bit better.
That's it's not just a.
That's a bit better.
eating it like an apple.
You sounded like you just ate a raw
But
tomato,
like, as
bro.
in, it was not sufficient whatsoever.
Damn.
Yeah, I need to. Let's cut the amateur agents there. Sorry, guys. I need to eat dinner.
Okay.
It's a long pod.
Do you need to or do you want to?
That's true. That's true. What did you say yesterday? What was it? I
fuck.
need to something.
Oh, no,
I need to
I said-
go watch SmackDown.
Yeah, I said I need to go
he
watch
goes
SmackDown.
yesterday. We're at Sandy. He goes, sorry guys, I have to go home and watch SmackDown. I go, have to go home is a weird way to phrase
It's a
that.
halfy. All right, guys. You won't be getting 3 hours free for long.
He's been warning that for 8 months.
It's on him for the 2 hour pod. And every week he says it. I've got to the point from 2 weeks ago. I don't believe it.
It's just about trying to implement it, you know, because it's just fucked.
You got to say it and then start to believe it.
I know, because I'm definitely cutting a bunch of shit out of this.
Don't cut out Ange, bro.
I won't cut out Ange, but like I don't know if I wanted to say 3 hours. Anyway.
Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow Bootin' About, give us 5 stars on Spotify, suited and booted. We're fucking out of here.
We love you guys.
Use moisturizer.
Fucking hell, why'd I go 3 hours, man?